air traffic navigation services and that the maneuver was carried out in accordance with safety procedures. Cam Ray Clark, Eyewitness News.
And hundreds of victims have been buried in Nepal following devastating flash floods. A tsunami-like flood crashed through the Himalayan region last Wednesday, sweeping away villages and leaving thousands still missing. The huge wave of ice, rocks and debris smashed into villages and towns, killing at least 797 people in both Nepal and Tibet across the border with China. Families have packed rescue stations and hospitals in search of their missing relatives, while others face the grim task of identifying bodies. At least 3,048 people remain missing, including many tourists and pilgrims to Tibet's sacred Mount Kailash. Members of the South London Hindu temple gathered for a prayer in the UK as 16 of their members are still missing following the catastrophic flood. Sachin Bagla is one of the leaders at the temple.
This is a group of 16 devotees from the temple who went on this pilgrimage to Mount Kailash, and they were led by Mr. Nabinandan Das, who is the group leader and also the founder of this temple. It was one of his favorite activities to take people on these holy pilgrimages to places of worship, which are very difficult to get to.
Gold is trading at $4,452.67 an ounce. The rand is at 16.17 to the dollar, 21.88 to the pound, 18.74 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $90.04 a barrel.
Accident reported on Malibongwe Drive right in Sharonlee. It's near the President for Shared Drive. It's causing delays. There's also queuing traffic reported on the M1 North approaching Melrose due to another accident.
And in your sport, Mamelodi Sundowns beat Golden Arrows on the away goal rule to set up an MTN8 final with Orlando Pirates. Chelsea's up to third in the Premier League, while Man United beat Ipswich 5-2 at Old Trafford. Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus says All Black coach Dave Rennie must stop moaning. And South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round of the US Open.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at
I don't know why this particular weekend it's become such a big thing. Okay, I thought it was low. I must admit, my initial reaction, I was standing in a sports club and watching this, and everyone went like, whoa, that's low. Laurie Kay, Captain Laurie Kay, he was the original captain at Ellis Park in 1995 when we won, and I remember him saying, this is Captain Laurie Kay, and I'm now descending over Ellis Park. It was quite something. And we've emulated that ever since. Amo, did you watch?
I didn't have a chance to watch. I was traveling back home from watching the Orlando Pirates match over Sekhukhune United. So I was
Yes.
on my way. I didn't have a chance to watch, but I did see the social media activity around the aircrafts. But I thought that it was rehearsed, right? Everything
Mhm.
happened in precision according to how they had practiced. So I didn't see any issues there.
But it's low. And you know when those planes come in, they thunder. They brrr, and all the rest of it, and you kind of sitting there, and that smoke, the coloured smoke was coming out, and I think the coloured smoke may have sort of hit the aircraft, showing just how low it was. So 702 Land, we'd like to know from you this morning, too low or just absolutely magnificent? Because, I mean, you're right, Matteo. There are people overseas criticizing us. It's made world headlines. I say one thing for Airlink, your marketing campaign is priceless. People will be talking about you for at least the rest of today and maybe the rest of this week as well. But 072 702 1702, would just like to get your opinion on this, too low or simply magnificent.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Right, well, coming up in your program this morning, lots to talk about, and the major political parties have met the IEC deadline to submit their candidate list for the local government elections. That was the big story that came into the weekend. These are for council seats. We still don't know who the ANC is putting forward as their Joburg candidate. A few names have come to the fore, but they need to finalise. A little later on, after 7, I'll be talking to the MK Party's candidate for Johannesburg, Bongani Bingwa, asking him about what he's proposing to turn the city around if elected. And this is part of 702's drive, just to make sure you know exactly who the candidates are, and you can take an informed choice when casting your ballot, your vote on the 4th of November. In the light of that conversation, I'm also asking you this morning, what's a big game changer when it comes to you choosing your candidate? What's the one thing that candidate needs to do? And you say, okay, I'm going to vote for that person. Let me explain why I'm asking this. For me, it's the roads, traffic lights, and also JMPD. Swane and other metros have similar issues. On Friday, after the show, I was stuck in traffic on Greyston Drive. And this is something that really gets my thing going. There was congestion with the intersection ahead. The intersection was just not coping, Amo. There were traffic lights that were working, but I think it was not green long enough on our side. And this traffic was backed all the way up Greyston Drive. And then on the other side of the road, there's JMPD, and they're pulling cars off, checking for licenses, which is good, which is really good. But eventually, motorists, after we were sitting there for half an hour, we kind of got to the point where people were saying to the JMPD guys across the road, please, can you just move on up there and direct traffic? Because we're not going anywhere. And these guys just looked at the motorists, and they just turned their backs and walked away. And it just struck me right there between the eyes. This is what the election is about. Is working for the people, getting our city running. So this morning I'd like to know from 702 Land, what's the one thing you would like to see? It's that one little button. And if they flick or touch that button, you'll go, I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you. I'll make sure. Amber, what's yours?
You mentioned the issue about roads, Ray. There's this stretch, and Cindy has spoken about this before because we live in the same area, if not neighbors, right?
Yeah.
On Malibongo Drive, it's a small stretch between West Street and Judges Avenue. I promise you, I don't know whether they were trying to fix the road, so they dug it out, right? And they were busy with it. There were people working the road at the time, but then they left, and the road is it's a huge stretch of just potholes.
Yeah.
During peak hours, it's hectic traveling along Malibongo Drive towards Republic and Judges Avenue, and even in the afternoon, it's I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but when you travel along the route, you have to slow down. And if you don't know the route, obviously your car will get damaged because you've never traveled along the stretch before.
Gosh.
But issues of roads for me, it's a big concern. Along with, when there's no water or when there's power outages.
Yeah.
I need to have a communication as to exactly what is happening. I
Just
need to
tell
feel
me.
like
Yeah.
my counselor is aware of what is happening and what are they doing to ensure that we're getting power and services back. So for me, those are the issues of great concern.
Those are yours, Mateo.
I doubt this will happen, Ray, but any leader that will speak about the change in systems, so whether it's the collection of rubbish, whether it's the traffic lights working, somebody saying, look, we've looked at the system in its current form, this is what we think will be a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll hire people in-house, we'll buy our own trucks in-house, and we'll make sure that you'll have your rubbish collected. We'll give better pay to workers so that they don't have strikes and leave all the rubbish on the road. We'll make sure that we have adaptive AI for robots so it can, detect when there's congestion and when there isn't, so you don't spend too much time at the traffic light. But I'm asking for too much here.
You guys have got a list. I said one thing. So 702 Land. What's one thing, that one button that needs to be pushed? And you'll say, you push that button, I'll vote for you. So 0727021702. And then talking SASSA a little bit later on, if you got your SASSA card, you need to get the new black card, the new Postbank Black SASSA card. So I'll be chatting to Tami Cele. He's the Postbank Commercial Officer about that. So lots to talk about this morning.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Mateo, what you asking this morning?
It's month end, Ray, and I want to know this morning, do you go through your money with a fine-tooth comb? Or do you just look away and hope everything sorts itself out? You don't want to see money leave your account, or you're the type of person that follows it to every cent. And I'm asking that, are you the kind of person that would notice if a service or a subscription you pay for has gone up by 10 Rand, 20 Rand, or money just goes off your account and you're happy with that?
You actually need to watch, because sometimes there was that whole 100 or 99 Rand thing. Remember that? And then money would just come off your account, and it was fraudsters basically taking it off. So you have to just kind of watch. Sometimes it's not just a banking charge or something, Amo.
Oh, yes. I pay attention, particularly to things that I subscribe to, because sometimes they've gone up and they haven't told us that there's an increase on this and that. And then you see a little bit of money coming out. I check on those. I make sure that I check on it. It's the random spending that I'm not, too attentive to, like, buying a random coffee or food somewhere. That's the one I need to work on. But the subscriptions, I'm very hard on.
Yeah. Watch out for those ones. I'm looking forward to your business report to see exactly why you're asking that question.
702.
Weather.
All right. I can't believe tomorrow is Spring Day. Is it tomorrow, Spring Day? Yeah, 1st of September. So that means very soon it's actually getting quite warm. Your weather will be changing. But it's a fine day in Gauteng today. Johannesburg starting at a low of 7, going up to 25. Pretoria going up to 26. Vereeniging 25. Mbombela, good morning. Nelspruit 26. Polokwane 27. The same for Mahikeng. Bloemfontein 26. Then Durban is partly cloudy with some isolated showers and rain starting at a low of 18, a high of 22. Leberga 17. Kuchombo City is 18, and then Cape Town is also expected to be fine, along with a moderate to strong southeasterly, a low of 11, a high of 19 degrees.
EWN Traffic.
19 minutes past 6 o'clock. Amo, how is the traffic?
Well, Ray, we start with a very busy morning. An accident reported in Melrose along the M1 North before Glenhove Road. It's causing delays coming out of the Kilani Bends. There's also queuing traffic in Sharon Lee along Malibongo Drive. This is due to an accident right near President Fouché. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Malibongo Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. In the city of Tshwane, some issues along the R80 East, Mabopani Highway, just as you approach Eskiam Pahlele Drive. We'll have more updates, but if you come across anything else, we're in exit EWN traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. The lady asked me if I'm comfortable with my excess. I said, excess? Well, according to my therapist, I'm apparently a little too comfortable. But sometimes you just need to make sure. You know what I mean? She just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702's Small Business Focus, powered by Capitec, shines a spotlight on the drive, passion, and dedication behind every successful small business.
No surprises at all. I think when times are a bit more uncertain, more volatile, more unpredictable, businesses generally tend to be a bit more cautious. But I would argue in general, whether good or bad times, sustainable growth in smaller increments is a more stable way to grow, a more sustainable way to grow, rather than big shocks in growth or very rapid growth.
Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. Catch the Small Business Focus on 702 and bank on better business banking with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized FSP 46669.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Raymond and the team. What a weekend. The Springboks won, Thunder 101. It's a brilliant weekend. And about the planes, isn't that just the best advertising campaign Airlink could have ever thought of? Because on everybody's lips now, it's Airlink, Airlink, Airlink. Absolutely brilliant, guys. Well done. Keep it up. From Rustenburg.
Morning, Ray. Morning here. I think that the flyover was just what it was. It was nice. It was good. It's what we do. But if we want to make a joke about it, I'm sure that pilot told his co-pilot, hey, hou my bier, ek wys jou.
Morning, Ray. Alan Randburg, yeah? On that flyover issue, now, I reckon that was way too low. That could have ended very badly.
Look, those guys are good. Those pilots are really good. They know exactly what to do. If you think sometimes they come in and they can't land and they like touch the ground sort of thing and they take off, they're very much in control of those aircraft. But I must admit, watching the rugby and just having all people around me, a lot of people are like, yo, that was low. It was quite funny, actually. But it could have been tragic. But I don't know. Hey, I'm in two minds about this. 072 702 1702.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Things you need to know about today. Well, the ANC has removed more than 350 councillors and mayoral candidates from its list after its vetting process reportedly uncovered criminal records and missing grade 12 qualifications. The last-minute purge happened just hours before the IEC's Friday deadline for political parties to submit their candidate lists for the 4 November local government elections. Well, it's interesting because speaking in Soweto, President Ramaphosa, he's the ANC's president, he said the party is not a copycat organization. He says they're doing their best to clean up corruption, and he was saying that they are original. Let's take a listen.
When it comes to publishing the names, we are not a copycat organization. And it should never be said that what other parties do, we will also do. We don't copycat. We are original in everything that we do. So leave us with our originality as we go into the elections, and just watch this space. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Leave us alone. We are original. On this day in 1997, I can't believe it's been such a long time ago, the world woke to the devastating news that Princess Diana had died in a car crash in Paris. Now, Diana was traveling in a Mercedes with her companion Dodiel Fayed and their driver Henri Paul when the car crashed in the Port d'Alema tunnel shortly after midnight. She was just 36 years old. A 23-year-old man in Poland has been arrested after allegedly ordering hundreds of unwanted food deliveries to strangers' homes, including one order for 300 pizzas. Now, police say the orders were made using other people's names and were payable on delivery, leaving restaurants with significant losses. I'm not sure why he thought that was funny. Adam Gilchrist will have more in the World View. In August 2020, singer Akon stood on a dusty 800-hectare plot of land in Senegal and laid the first stone of what he promised would be his real-life Wakanda. The vision was breathtaking, a $6 billion futuristic metropolis powered by entirely solar energy, fueled by its own cryptocurrency, the Acoin, I think I'm pronouncing it right, and featuring curving skyscrapers, housing luxury resorts, tech hubs, and state-of-the-art hospitals designed to attract international investment, tourism, and provide a home for African diaspora delegates. Now, the project captured global headlines and ignited a fierce debate over whether a pop star could actually build a sci-fi city from scratch. Well, the answer, I'm afraid, is no. And on this day in 2005, Destiny's Child had another reason to celebrate. At the World Music Awards, the group was honored as the best-selling female group of all time, with reported worldwide sales of more than 50 million records at the time.
You thought that I'd be sad without you. I left harder. Thought I wouldn't grow without you. Now I'm wiser. Thought that I'd be helpless without you, but I'm smarter. You thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chilling. You thought I wouldn't sell without you. Don't I knew you. I'm the survivor.
And they survived. They did. The best-selling female group of all time.
702.
The newspapers.
Sofiso Zulu, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Ray. Welcome back. Good morning.
Right, what's making your newspaper headlines?
Yeah, so I'm looking at a story from down under in Australia. A mother in Sydney is calling herself the woman that punched the shark in the face after a terrifying attack left her without an arm. Her name is Lee Stewart. She's 34 years old. She was swimming at a beach in June when a 4-meter great white shark lashed onto her thigh and arms, and the blood loss was so bad that doctors had to amputate her left arm. And she basically detailed all of this in a current affairs program in Australia called 960 Minutes, right? And she describes staring at the shark down, its black eyes and its massive jaws just centimeters from her face. And she basically said she had to fight off the shark because she was thinking of a baby. And, you know, some of the beachgoers also helped her to yank her to the shore from the shark. But yeah, she survived, and she's basically saying she's proud of that.
Gosh. What a story. What a story. Business Day this morning, price shock adds 56 billion rand to SA fuel bill. We've also got Eskom explores agriculture hubs at coal power stations. The Sowetan this morning, they've got over here, boys, horror circumcision. They've got a whole account of what happened to this youngster. What else do you have? That's you, hey? That's you done. Okay, right then. The Star, they've got major airport flagged as organised crime hotspots, dozens of narcotics smuggling cases emanating from ports of entry. And those
are the newspapers.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo, how well do you track your spending? You track your money down to every cent, do you, in the Haripe household? How does it work? Why are you asking?
Let's not get into my finances, Ray. The South African Banking Risk Information Center says it's important our consumers keep a keen eye on their accounts and money. This is according to the 2025 Annual Crime Statistics Report. SABRIC's report shows that South Africans lost 2.4 billion rand to digital banking crime in 2025, with the losses spread across more than 110,000 reported incidents. The figure showed a sharp increase in financial losses from digital banking crime as criminals increasingly exploited technology, customer trust, and familiar banking processes to steal money. SABRIC reporting client claim amounts more than doubled from 1 billion rand in 2023 to about 2.4 billion rand in 2025. This was also a 29% increase from approximately 1.9 billion in 2024. Based on the 110,074 incidents reported in 2025, the average loss amounted to about 21,865 per incident. Now, the report highlighted the changing nature of banking crime and the need for greater vigilance, collaboration, and investment in prevention and disruption. Digital banking crime remained one of the most significant reported financial crime risks in 2025. Banking apps accounting for about 89% of reported digital banking crime cases.
That's interesting. All right, okay. How's the rand in the markets?
Well, in Asia this morning, markets fell with South Korea's benchmark Kospi down 3.5%, Japan's Nikkei down 2%, Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropping by more than 0.5%, while the mainland Chinese markets, the CSI 300 were down 0.5%. In Australia, the S&P ASX 200 bucking that trend up marginally this morning. The JSE was up 1,367 points on Friday. Strength from industrials, banking stocks and mining shares are pushing up the JSE. The rand this morning, though, still quite weak against the dollar, 16 rand 18 cents, 18 rand 76 cents against the euro, and 21 rand 92 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is down by more than 0.5% at $4,418 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,808. Brent crude now at $90 a barrel, up 2%. I'll tell you why in about an hour.
That's not good news whatsoever. Mateo, thanks so much. Just gone 6:31. Sofiso, I see the carnage on our roads is continuing.
That's right, Ray. Good morning. 6 people have been killed and 15 others seriously injured at the weekend in 2 separate crashes on the N2 in the Eastern Cape. 2 people died when a bakkie with 6 occupants overturned near the Vigersville outside Mthatha on Saturday. Meanwhile, another bakkie carrying 15 people overturned near Mkhambeni outside Qumbu, killing 4 people. Provincial Traffic Department spokesperson Makaya Komisa.
The primary cause of these accidents is reckless and negligent driving, particularly driving under the influence of alcohol. Cases of culpable homicide have been opened at the Qumbu and Biki police stations for further investigation.
2 men accused of extortion are expected to appear in the Wynberg Magistrates Court today following a police sting operation in Parow. The suspects allegedly threatened to kill the owner of a security company as well as his family and staff while demanding protection money since May. Police spokesperson Dake Gwala says the men travelled from Gqeberha after arranging a meeting with the victim and allegedly insisted he pay for their accommodation. They were arrested shortly after arriving at a designated venue to collect the extortion money.
A security company owner reported the threats and opened a case of extortion at Wynberg SAPS. A multidisciplinary sting operation was henceforth orchestrated.
Nearly 70,000 SASSA beneficiaries have yet to collect their Postbank black cards, with today's deadline marking the end of the migration process from the SASSA Gold Card. The agency says people will still be able to get the new cards at designated collection sites after the deadline. But SASSA's Tamikele warns the old cards are no longer operational. He says beneficiaries must first collect their new Postbank black cards to access their grants.
We work with retailers, Shoprite, Pick n Pay, Boxer and Spars. We only require your ID. And we also importantly would like to emphasize to the beneficiaries that you do not have to go back to SASSA to register anything once you've collected the card. It works instantly.
And at least 8 people have died and 18 others are still missing after a passenger boat capsized off North Cyprus. Nal Stel, the Prime Minister of the self-proclaimed Turkish Republic on Cyprus, says the ferry had been carrying 259 passengers and 8 crew members when it began taking on water. The captain and 7 crew members have been detained as part of an investigation into how this tragedy happened. Officials say the majority of those on board have been rescued. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 7 and 10 degrees, peaking at highs between 25 and 26 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Makwa North between the Killarney Bends and Glenhove Road. That's due to an accident. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North, just as you come out of Modderfontein Road due to another accident scene.
The top story this hour, 6 people have been killed and 15 others seriously injured at the weekend in 2 separate crashes on the N2 in the Eastern Cape.
Peregrine Capital presents Brian Habana's Count to 100.
In my journey to 100, it started with my first cap, then my second, 10th, 50th, 90th, 99th.
Brian Habana, his 100th international test. You get to 100 one decision at a time. For 28 years, Peregrine Capital has applied that same discipline to turn 1 million rand into 100 million. Peregrine Capital. Invest in performance. An authorized FSP. Past performance non-indicative of future performance. T's and C's apply.
702 Drive with John Perlman was in conversation with Honor, exploring the future of smartphones and the technology shaping what comes next.
We understand this year is the year of AI. The database actually consumes a lot of high-speed memories. So when the AI demand is picking up and the profit from that side is big, the manufacturer will automatically reduce the capacity for the consumer parts. So that memory price increase. But from our owner side, we are trying our best, let's say, to hold the price and still make the phone accessible to all the consumers.
Visit honor.com/ZA to find out more. Honor. Dare to be on 702.
Coming up on the program in the next hour, it's What's the Question, and it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up for grabs 3,000 rands in cash. All you need to do is send us an answer based on anything that has piqued your interest in the show, and you could win 1,000 rand. Then simply WhatsApp your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. And of course, a little bit later, someone else will ask the question to win 2,000 rand in cash. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you have SMS out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Morning, Ray and the team. Ray, the flyover was spectacular, was amazing, was South African. That's exactly who we are. That was beautiful. Have a splendid week, Baba from the Val.
Good morning, Ray and your team. What a magnificent display, Ray, in Cape Town. I think there is a lot of element of jealousy about the South African rugby and the team, the way they are playing and the way they walloped the All Blacks at the end of the day. So big up to all the organizers that they've managed to pull that through. It is a talk of the town or the talk of the whole world this morning. Max in Pretoria.
Lovely being the talk of the town. And we talk about that flyover on Saturday evening. I thought it was absolutely spectacular. Yeah, I'm looking at the WhatsApp line. There's a few people have WhatsApped in saying way too low, dangerous. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, this is the airline, Airlink. They said it was precision, it was precise. They got it just right. They knew exactly what they were doing. And if that's the case, well, that's the case. But I don't know. It was still very low. 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. Morning, Amo. I will vote for the person who will stop this impounding from Tshwane Metropolis and Gauteng traffic towards the e-hailing. If someone say they will stop this impounding until government give us permits to work, then I will vote for them. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Asking this morning, what's the one thing, if a politician does it, if a mayoral candidate does it, and they do that one thing, you'll vote for them? I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'll be chatting to Bongani Bingwa from the MK party a little bit later on and asking him the same questions as if he becomes mayor, if he wins the mayoral chain, what will he then do to make sure that you and I have a better Johannesburg? But I'd love your suggestions. 072 702 1702.
EWN Sport.
Yo, Cindy, Sundowns was a little bit close, eh? Just a little bit.
I think the fans are slightly relieved, right? They will play the MTN8 final against Orlando Pirates, but somewhat lucky. They beat Golden Arrows 3-2 yesterday, but the aggregate was 3-3, and they advanced on the away goals rule. So I think if you're an Orlando Pirates fan, you're feeling quite confident this morning, right? To be facing Sundowns in the final. Here's Coach Cardozo.
Pretty happy with the commitment of the players. I think that we had the mindset that was needed to change and come back, make a comeback, strong comeback on a match like this. And obviously happy to give the club and mostly to our fans that supported today such an energetic and emotional and positive way the possibility to play a final of MTN8.
In the Premier League, Manchester United came from a goal down to beat Ipswich 5-2, including a hat-trick from Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea up to third after beating Brighton 4-3. Sunderland beat Fulham 1-0. Leeds and Brentford drew 1-1. Proteas fast bowler Kagiso Rabada has been ruled out of next month's ODI series with Australia through injury. He's also a doubt for the Test series that starts October. At Lords, England beat Pakistan by 194 runs in the second Test. They won the series with one game to go. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus has fired back at All Black coach Dave Rennie's allegations that the Boks have dodgy scrum tactics. Rassie says Rennie is simply feeling the pressure now.
So it's the first time ever in history that people are talking about us walking around. So why would we all of a sudden walk around? The first 6 scrums in New Zealand I had, every single one collapsed. And it was a reset. So why is it only on their ball that the scrum collapsed every single time? So I don't come with that nonsense and saying we're walking around and you try and put that things out in the media. The last line out was skew. And we contested. I'm not going to moan my ass off about that.
I love Rassie. I really just love it. We're not walking around. You know what? We pushed them. Our scrum was magnificent. Our front row was magnificent. I'll leave it there.
Okay. Grick was finished top of the Currie Cup table after a 48-17 win over Boland Cavaliers. That ended their semi-final hopes. Grickers will host the Lions in the semi-final. Cheetahs will host the Pumas. Tennis's 4th Grand Slam of the year, the US Open, started yesterday. This morning, Novak Djokovic is out. He's struggling with a back injury. He lost to Mariano Navone in 5 sets, while South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round. He beat Jack Kennedy 6-4, 6-2, 6-2.
I feel like I'm getting younger by the day. I've had my fair share of physical issues in the last 5 years, and I'm doing everything I can to stay in physically the best shape, and I've played a ton of matches in the last couple of weeks, so it feels nice to be healthy, competing every point. Didn't give anything away because of feeling physically bad in any way, shape or form, and now I have 2 more days, so I feel like I can be physically in perfect shape when Wednesday comes around.
And in golf, South African Cassandra Alexander won the Women's Irish Open by 3 shots, finishing on 20 under for her 2nd European Tour title. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Everything you need to know about the local government elections is on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za. Because this is more than local. It's personal.
Vandalism and theft of water infrastructure affects everyone. Damage to pipes, meters, valves, reservoirs, and other critical infrastructure can result in water outages, low pressure, sewer spillages, and costly repairs that impact communities across Johannesburg. Well, Johannesburg Water urges residents to help protect public infrastructure by reporting suspicious activity affecting the water network. To report incidents or water-related faults, call Johannesburg Water on 010-061-4470. That's 010-061-4470. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water.
Dad, how come Mom's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty, in it with you, all of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP, and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Good morning, 702. My name is Melusi. I'm 11 years old and I go to Grouper College. When I grow up, I want to be a businessman, and I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Ray.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
16 minutes to 7 o'clock. This EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save in your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Right. M1 North, a crash, Amo.
Yes, Ray, it happened right near Glenhove Road, causing delays from the Killarney Bends. And then if you're still traveling on the M1 North, do know that there's more delays coming out of Boysons Road to Carr Street. This is due to the usual peak time delays at this time of the morning. And then heading towards Alexandra, another accident reported on the Mark 1 North near Vincent Chabalala Road. Delays coming out of Linksfield Road. There's also queuing traffic due to peak time delays on the N1 South between the Braakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. If you're heading towards Bedford View, do expect delays on the N3 North between the Gearlands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to peak time delays as well. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 95. I had load shedding and couldn't charge my phone, so I didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Hi, this is Alia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. I have to share this comment. I found this comment quite hilarious. So someone on social media actually wrote, both pilots are taxi drivers, and they were well trained at Mitchell's Plain Taxi Association. I find that hilarious and a nice way of comeback. They must just leave this. This is what makes South Africa. So, yeah.
Morning, Ray. Morning to the listeners. You know, Ray, as Amos said, this was rehearsed. And you know, it's actually frustrated the way America wants to be in everyone's business. They might as well tell us how to use the toilet one day. Thanks.
Yeah, this is the thing. You know, a lot of people this morning getting quite angry and saying, hey, this was rehearsed. They knew exactly what they were doing. Talking about the two airline pilots at the rugby on Saturday. I love your comments about the taxi drivers. I mean, love them or hate them. Taxi drivers, they do show the most amount of skill. They're really to dance in and out of the traffic like that. I must admit, that does take skill. It's illegal and dangerous, but it does take skill.
Good morning, 702 landers. You know what? To answer Mteo's question, I'm one of the people that actually sit down with a pen and paper and just start jotting and planning and saying that this much goes there, that much goes there. Streaming services will be this much, gym will be this much, insurance will be this much, and this is how much I'll be left with so I can work around that. Because somebody once told me that if you don't tell your money where it should go, then it will just go everywhere and you won't even know what you did with it. So that's what I do, man. Masungulu and Proteatlia.
Nice one. Thank you so much. In answer to Mateo's question, do you keep an eye on your debit orders at the end of the month? Do you make sure that the money goes off correctly? And, it's actually good advice that you do, because sometimes there's that 100 Rand that goes off somewhere else and you don't know that someone's actually getting stuck into your bank account. So it is a very good idea, though, to keep your eye on what's going on inside your bank account.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
And we say good morning to Malusi. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing, Malusi?
Good, and you?
Good. Now, you go to Cooper College. What's your favorite subject at the moment?
My favorite subject is humanities.
Oh, lovely. And of course, you want to be a businessman.
Yes.
Good. You and I can go into business one day. I look forward to it. Okay. Deal. Sounds good. All right, playing the Whiz Quiz now. How it works, I'll ask you 10 questions. For every one you get right, you get 100 Rand. If you get 10 out of 10, it's 10,000 Rand, and you got 60 seconds. How does that sound?
It sounds good.
Right, okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Right, KG, start the clock. What is 20 times 5?
100.
Correct. How many continents are there on Earth? Is it 7 or 9?
7.
Correct. True or false, the Drakensberg Range is also known as the Ukaklamba.
True.
Correct. In soccer, what color should goalposts be in international matches?
White.
Correct. Which sea animal makes pearls?
Oyster.
Correct. In movies, Johnny Depp plays a pirate called Captain Jack what?
Hook.
Sparrow. True or false, each side of an Egyptian pyramid forms a triangle?
True.
Correct. What do we call the calm area in the middle of a hurricane? Is it an eye or an ear?
An eye.
Eye of the storm. Correct. Which word beginning with G refers to a river of slow-moving ice?
Glacier.
Correct. Spell the word peace.
P-E-A-C-E.
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I am going to give it to you. You got 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Oh, that was so close. Oh, wow. You have you watched the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
No, I have not.
There we go. Captain Jack Sparrow. Malusi, well done. Hey, very proud of you. 9 out of 10. Have a great day at school today.
Thank you.
Cool. Bye. There we go. 9 out of 10. Yo, that was close. Easy to play the Whiz Quiz. Send us a WhatsApp on 072 702 1702.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Struggling with maths or want to improve your grades on this Maths Monday? Well, Prime Media Cares, in partnership with SIMI, S-I-M-I, helps thousands of high school learners with their maths. So check out the free training videos and revision sessions on Prime Media Plus, or go to www.simi.education.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
9 minutes to 7 o'clock, and today is the last day for those using the SASSA Gold Cards to switch to the new Postbank Black Cards. It's very important. They've been telling us about this for some time, and if you don't have the new card, you won't be able to access the money using your old Gold Card. So I thought, let's find out more about this. And joining us is Postbank Chief Commercial Officer, Tommy. Tommy, hi, good morning. Welcome to 702.
Good morning, Ray, and good morning to the listeners, and thank you for welcoming us.
Why the change from gold to black? Was it a security thing? Why was that decision taken?
Well, Ray, I think it's important to just frame this in a generic way, because just so that the beneficiaries also get to understand. Everyone who's got a debit card, whether it's us or any other bank, or even a credit card for that matter, that credit card has a lifespan of about 5 to 7 years, and then the bank would require you to come and change it. And the big reason behind that is, every that 5 year, 7 year, you have an upgrade in chips, right, that are in your on your card. And that's because it's an upgrade in security features that come with that. I mean, I think if we leave it at that as the most important reason why this is being done, the only difference with us is that we happen to have all of these cards coming due for that upgrade at the same time.
Yeah. All right. So how many are still outstanding? Because you know how many people get their SASSA grants. So what's the number looking like?
Firstly, let's appreciate the over 1.8 million beneficiaries that have already changed over, are currently using this Postbank Black Card. I think it's important to say thank you to them. And of course, there is still just under 70,000 that are still to go that haven't collected the Postbank Black Card. We had set this deadline of today purely to make sure that that beneficiaries know that they are no longer going to be able to utilize the old SASSA Gold Card, that they have got to use the Postbank Black Card in order to access their funds.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, because it's a procedural thing. Just to be clear, though, be very clear, if money is paid into your account and you don't have the new black card, it's okay. You can still use that money. You just can't draw it out using the old gold card, right?
Yes. So firstly, money will continue to be paid into the account. Funds that you've left in the account will remain available to you. The only other way to access those funds is through the Postbank Black Card. So you have to collect the card in order to access the funds. Whether you are drawing cash or you are wanting to swipe for purchases, you've got to have to come and collect that card first.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that we're trying to avoid, that inconvenience of when you now need the money now and you don't have the card. Now you have to go and hold a queue to get the card, and then you can hold another queue to then start withdrawing your funds if you need to withdraw any.
Yeah. Us South Africans, we leave things to the last minute. We just do. That's just what we do. So if somebody's listening to this interview, how can they go and get their card? Where do they go? Is it general retailers? What do they do?
Yeah. So before we talk to that, firstly, Ray, if you do miss, because I think 70,000 in one day is probably not going to be realistic.
Yeah.
Some people may actually not even be able to come forward and collect their cards. So what we've done is we've opened up our retail sites, which I'll talk to now, to be available even beyond the 31st of August, which means that even tomorrow you are able to go to your nearest site and collect the card. Now it's a collection more than it's a changing over, because your Gold Card is no longer going to be operational in any case. We're working with ShopriteShop, Pick n Pay, Boxer, and Spars, but it's not all of them. So what we generally encourage beneficiaries is that they must use our USSD store locator to find a site near them, and the code that they can utilize for that is *120 *355 hash. *120 *355 hash. All they need to say is where they are from, province-wise and area. We will SMS them a list of stores that they can go to nearest to their house.
Okay, and that's available on the SASSA website, what you just read out now. Just for those who don't
it's
have
available
a
on the Postbank website. Postbank website. I think whilst you're mentioning SASSA, might have just latch on to that point. Beneficiaries do not have to go to SASSA to register once they've gotten their Postbank Black Card.
Right.
The card works immediately. It is free. It works immediately. And the only thing we require from a beneficiary to come forward and get this Postbank Black Card is just their ID. I mean, any of the three forms of ID, whether it's a smart card ID, whether it's a green ID book, or even a temporary ID, we do accept.
Right.
It takes 3 minutes to get a new card.
Oh, quick. Tommy, I got a WhatsApp here. Can beneficiaries collect their black cards in a different province from the one where their grant was originally approved? Does it matter which province you're in?
It doesn't matter. Wherever you are, find the nearest place that you are and go and collect the card. I think it's available, and we can pick up, that you are due for a new card, and we'll issue one to you instantly.
Yeah. Just want to have a look at the black card. I mean, one thing I did pick up is that the gold card is not being continued because some security features have been compromised. What did you find there? What actually happened? Because it's quite concerning, and lessons can also be learned for other banks who have their bank cards as well. Was it people sort of getting through those security features?
Just to correct that, Ray, no. So it's not. There was no breach in our security. Otherwise, I think we would have had significant issues. I think it's more around, our designation from a licensing point of view, and the requirement, that comes from that compliance. Is that, we naturally had to issue these new cards. But we were due to issue them in any case, and I was indicating earlier on that those cards were due to be upgraded in any case, and so it coincided with that. But it's not a security breach of any kind. I think it's important that we emphasize that point.
Right, there we go. Tommy, thank you so much. Tommy Taylor, who's the Postbank Chief Commercial Officer, speaking about your SASSA card. Go get your black card. You can get it today, and if you miss today, you can still go and get it at all those different retailers. And I think the thing is, and Tommy's right, every 5 years you need to change things out. And they've given lots of warning. And like I say, I know us South Africans, we do leave things to the last minute. Well, this is what you're going to be doing on your Monday if you haven't got your black card yet.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Right, coming up in the program in the next half hour, over the past few months, we have seen the various political parties reveal their mayoral candidates for Joburg, bar the ANC. We're still waiting for them. Well, 702 has been talking to those candidates so that you can get a better idea of who to choose from, as this is a very important election. I'm sure you will agree. The latest party to announce their Joburg candidates is the MK party, naming Bongani Bingwa, and he'll be joining us a little bit later on. Send your WhatsApps through if you do have a question for him. Send them through. We'll play them out throughout the interview. Earlier on, I was asking you, what's the one thing, the very, very one thing that if, say, a party had to correct that or focus on that, you would then vote for that party? I'd love to hear what you have to say. 072 702 1702. But it's exactly 7 o'clock, and this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
This is EWN.
Extrajudicial killings are back on the Madlanga Commission agenda, and Airlink assures its planes are safe following that flyover in Cape Town. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. KwaZulu-Natal Hawks officer Dina Govender is set to return to the Madlanga Commission today. Govender, who heads the Hawks' KZN tracing team, has been implicated in alleged extrajudicial killings in that province. Karinda Jagmohan reports.
Suspicions have been raised over a 2023 police operation which resulted in the deaths of tow truck operator Bevan Loftus and 4 other men. IPID officer Len Jean accused Dina Govender of receiving over 2 million rand in separate payments around the time of the shooting, claiming links.
Due to this 2.5 million hit, Colonel Dina Govender and his team, they went all out looking for Bevan and the 4 deceased.
Govender denies this and maintains the operation was legitimate, stating the men were linked to drug crimes. He's set to defend the payments.
So all those funds commission is legitimate.
Meanwhile, Govender's application to give his evidence in camera has been partially denied. Karinda Jagmohan, Eyewitness News.
The trial of alleged underworld figure Vusmuzikat Matlala and 4 co-accused is expected to resume in the Johannesburg High Court this morning after a 3-week break. Matlala, his wife Tsakani, and co-accused Musa Kekana, Floyd Mabusela and Tabiseng Zama face 25 charges, including attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The proceedings have been dominated by a trial within a trial over Kekana's arrest, with the defense challenging its lawfulness and the admissibility of evidence allegedly obtained afterwards. Demakatso Lishuro takes a look.
Musa Kekana claims he was assaulted and tortured at his home in Kew and may have made admissions under duress and that he was not read his rights. His lawyers are also challenging evidence including firearms, ammunition and a stolen vehicle allegedly used in a murder. The state's case has come under scrutiny after 2 police witnesses gave conflicting accounts of events surrounding Kekana's arrest. Medical and paramedic evidence is now expected to take center stage this week in the trial within a trial, both to test Kekana's claims of assault and to clarify discrepancies over when and where he received medical treatment. The outcome could also have implications for the separate 2022 murder case involving Kekana and Mabusela over the killing of Vereniging engineer Aman Swart. Meanwhile, Matlala's lawyers have told the Madlanga Commission they intend challenging his arrest and continued detention. The defense argues that if the arrest is found to have been unlawful, evidence emanating from it could also be challenged. Demakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
A suspected illegal mining kingpin has died during a shootout with police in Carltonville. Officers say an operation was conducted yesterday where the suspect was believed to be staying. Police identified themselves, but the man responded by pointing an AK-47 assault rifle. Spokesperson Athlenda Mate says the officers were compelled to respond with force.
The operation was conducted as part of ongoing efforts by the SAPS to dismantle illegal mining syndicates. Deceased suspect was known to police as one of the dangerous illegal mining kingpins.
And Airlink has reassured the public that a flyover above Cape Town Stadium by 2 jets was conducted within the South African Civil Aviation Authority's approval, and it was rehearsed with safety, altitudes as well as speed limits. The stunt drew attention on social media and online forums ahead of the Springbok All Blacks clash on Saturday. There were some concerns whether the planes flew too low. Camry Clark has more.
The flyover has become synonymous with the Springboks, with the tradition dating back to the 1995 Rugby World Cup final at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. It was then that a South African Airways Boeing 747-200 passed low over the packed stadium ahead of the final between South Africa and New Zealand. 31 years later, the tradition has come under scrutiny after twin Airlink jets flew over Cape Town Stadium, with international media outlets, social media users and online forums questioning whether the flypast posed any danger to fans or complied with aviation regulations. In a statement, Airlink reassured the public that the aircraft were operated by highly experienced crews. The airline said the flypast was conducted with the approval of the South African Civil Aviation Authority and Air Traffic Navigation Services, and that the maneuver was carried out in accordance with safety procedures. Camry Clark, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,419.70 an ounce. The rand is at 16.18 to the dollar, 21.91 to the pound, 18.75 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $90.35 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Germiston, we've got an accident reported on the N3 North. It happened just before the Geldenes interchange. It's causing delays coming out of the airlines turnoff. And then if you are heading towards Alexandra, another accident seen, unfortunately, along the N3 North. It's causing delays as well coming out of the Kilulis interchange.
And in your sport, Mamelodi Sundowns through to the MTN8 final. On the away goal rule, they'll play Orlando Pirates. Bruno Fernandes scores a hat-trick in Man United's 5-2 win over Ipswich, while Chelsea's up to third on the Premier League table. Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus bites back at New Zealand coach Dave Rennie's criticism of the scrum tactics. And Novak Djokovic is out to the US Open in the first round.
A fine day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at a low of 7 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria, 10 and 26. Vereniging, 8 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, KwaZulu-Natal Hawks officer Dina Govender is set to return to the Madlanga Commission today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Deciding to skip the gym may cost you that smoothie reward, but deciding to stay with your current car insurance could be costing you thousands of rands in savings a year. With Outsurance, 48-year-old Sylvia saves an incredible 802 Rand a month on her 2019 BMW X1. Switch to Outsurance today. You too could be one quote away from having more money in your pocket every month. SMS out to 45142 now. That's out to 45142. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702 proudly presents the Dina Letty stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2026.
We're gonna have some fun. You guys ready?
This is Jazz Reignited.
Jazz.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, technology that helps organizations move forward.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It's fast approaching 8 minutes past 7 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bungles this morning. Good to be in your company. Well, coming up on your program in the next 15 minutes or so, I'll be talking to the MK Party's Joburg mayoral candidate, Bongani Bingwa. You'll know Bongani Bingwa. He was the mayor of Midvaal. He then left the DA, went to Action SA. He started his own Shaluma party. He's now gone off to the MK. So I'll be talking to him about what you would want, I hope you would want, from a mayor in the city of Joburg. You need to send through some WhatsApps on 072-702-1702, and we can play them for him. And let's put those to him to see if he's the mayor you want him to be. Perhaps he is your choice. In the past hour, I asked you to name one game changer that our political parties need to put into their priority list for us to vote for them. Mine is all things to do with roads, from traffic lights to traffic officers. What's yours? So you can include those ones as well. What's your game changer going to be for the city of Joburg, Swane, or elsewhere? Maybe Cosmo City, maybe Ekurhuleni. Love to hear what you have to say. And then our big shout out this morning. I was in Eyewitness News now with Camry Clark. She did that voice report, and that's about the planes, talking about the planes flying over Cape Town Stadium before the test. Were they flying too low? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I think it was spectacular. I thought those planes were amazing. I felt proudly South African, but I know I was standing in a sports club surrounded by a lot of people, and we all went, whoa, that's low. So there is that aspect. Love to hear from you. 072 702 1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Right, things you need to know about today. Well, the ANC has removed more than 350 councillor and mayoral candidates from its list after its vetting process reportedly uncovered criminal records and missing grade 12 certificates. The last-minute purge happened just hours before the IEC's Friday deadline for political parties to submit their candidate lists for the 4 November 2026 local government elections. Interesting move. Is it too little, too late for the governing party? I love your thoughts on that. Well, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has also condemned Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero's outburst at a West Rand service delivery meeting, calling his use of profanity towards an elderly resident completely unacceptable. Morero apologized publicly and privately to the resident, taking full responsibility. Our president says it's time for us to move on.
Our mayor did make an utterance which we find completely unacceptable, but he has apologized. He has gone public and apologized, and we as the ANC have taken him up on that, and I do hope that our people also will be able to accept the apology that he has given. It has not been damage control. Our people here did not even raise the issue. So we move ahead, and in any campaign there will always be mishaps, there will be missteps, and we are people and we will always make mistakes. The important thing is whether we humble ourselves enough to be able to say, we apologize. This does not represent who we are, because what he said does not represent in any way.
Is our president painting over the picture, or is it apology accepted? I'd love to hear what you have to say. In other news today, we celebrate the birthday of a man who made audiences laugh with one sentence, and sometimes without even saying one sentence. Chris Tucker was born on this day in 1971 in Atlanta, Georgia. He became famous as a stand-up comedian and actor, but his biggest global breakthrough came as Detective James Carter in the Rush Hour films alongside martial arts superstar Jackie Chan. And then before music videos became something we could watch whenever we wanted, you had to wait for the big premiere. Do you remember this back in the 1980s? On this day, in 1987, Michael Jackson gave the world another reason to tune in. His Bad music video premiered on CBS during the TV special Michael Jackson, The Magic Returns. Well, the video was directed by the legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese and ran for more than 18 minutes. There we go. Are you bad? Are you really, really bad? Michael Jackson. This was a song.
Your word is mine. Gonna tell you right. Just show your face. Broad daylight. I'm telling you on how I feel. Gonna catch your mind. Don't you dare jump on. Jump on. Get on me. Watch your mouth. I know your game, what you're about. And they say the sky's the limit. And to me, this really true. I'm a friend.
you go. I know you were tapping your fingers on the steering wheel this morning. On this day, 1987, Michael Jackson gave the world another reason to tune in. His Bad music video was released.
702. Up next,
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Right, Amal, there was that M1 North crash. There was that one. Also, Swane delays. Paint us a picture. What's going on in the traffic?
Well, Ray, we've got an accident in Erasmus Rand right along the N1 North. It happened before Rigel Avenue. It's causing delays coming out of the Flying Saucer interchange, so please be on the lookout there. And if you're still traveling within the greater Tshwane areas, do expect delays along several routes, including Old Johannesburg Road coming out of the N14. The N14 East in itself is backed up towards the Brakfontein interchange. That's due to peak time delays, and more peak time delays are piling up along the R80 between the Hairpin Bend and Eskiam Patlele Drive. This is also queuing traffic along Eskiam Patlele Drive through Mountain View just as you approach the Paul Kruger exit. And then if you're traveling in Joburg, some delays on the M2 West, an accident in the Selby area. It happened before the Crown interchange. Delays from Heidelberg Road. I'll have more. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Vandalism and theft of water infrastructure affects everyone. Or damage to pipes, meters, valves, reservoirs, and other critical infrastructure can result in water outages, low pressure, sewage spillages, and costly repairs, which impact communities across Johannesburg. Johannesburg Water urges residents to help protect public infrastructure by reporting suspicious activity affecting the water network. To report incidents or water-related faults, you can call Joburg Water on 010 061 4470. So that's 010 061 4470. Brought to you by Joburg Water.
Need a last-minute gift? Checker 6060 will bring the toy aisle to you. Hot Wheels bands and Lego trends. Let's go 6060. Marvel minis and other figurines. Let's go 6060. All the Barbies and the plushies. Let's go 6060. Fisher Price and all things nice. Let's go 6060. Whatever they love, whatever their age, Checker 6060 will deliver today. Let's go 6060.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was with my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to Outsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
You made your mark on election day. But what happens after the votes are counted? This week, catch the Clement Manyatela Show in conversation with the South African Local Government Association on 702. Tune in as we unpack how local democracy works, what you can expect from your ward councillor, and how every resident can play a meaningful role in shaping their community. Democracy lives here. Make your voice count beyond the ballot box. The Clement Manyatela Show in conversation with Salga, inspiring service delivery. This week on 702.
702.
The big interview.
17 minutes past 7 o'clock. Parties have been announcing their candidates for the local government election, with Joburg emerging as a central battleground. Well, over the past few months, we've seen the various parties reveal their candidates for the City of Gold, except for the ANC. We're waiting for them still. 702 has been talking to those candidates so that you can get a better idea of who to choose from, as this is, I'm sure you will agree, a very important election. South Africans are fed up with poor service delivery in various areas, and many are calling for change. The latest party to announce their Joburg candidate is the MK Party, naming Bongani Bingwa. And you think, Bongani Bingwa, I know that name. He was once the mayor of Midvaal. That was before leaving the DA. He then joined Action SA and then started the Shaluva Party, and now with MK. And he joins us. Bongani, hi, good morning. Welcome to 702.
Good morning, and morning to the listeners, and thank you for inviting us on 702.
Good to have you on. Right, who is Bongani Bingwa and why should people vote for you?
Look, Bongani Bingwa is a trusted local government practitioner who has been in local government for more than 15 years in one part or another, and I've been a mayor of Midvaal and also worked really well with the Midvaal community and uplifted Midvaal in terms of performance and output and improvement of basic services to a stage which is above the top 3 municipalities in the country. And I think now Bongani Bingwa is a trusted, dedicated member of Umkhonto weSizwe who's committed to the mission and purpose and values of Umkhonto weSizwe, and who has been put as a candidate who has this experience and understanding and competence in local government as the City of Johannesburg mayoral candidate to try and deal with the issues that's facing the residents in creating a compelling alternative for the voters.
Yeah. Just want to go through your career. I mean, DA Midvaal, Action SA, starting your own party, now MK. These are various political parties with various degrees or various views. I mean, MK is quite a change from, say, the DA.
No, absolutely. But if you track my political progress over the time, you'll see it moves from center to center left and also left. So it's nothing different if you consider where Shiluba was. It's nothing different if you look at where we are now. And again, what you're citing is 5 years ago, and I think people move on, people grow, and people follow a different political persuasion. And I think the residents of Johannesburg are more concerned about the current state of challenges that they face. And I think they care less about where one has been and what one has done, more so when it comes to political choice. And it hasn't been as a consequence of mismanagement or stealing or anything negative that might affect what they think about a person. So I really think the political association is something that is not at the top of the list for City of Johannesburg residents. They really want someone who's competent, capable, and who can deal with this very complex institution and be able to deliver services and rescue it from where it is at this point in time.
All right, give us the Twitter version. How do you turn the city around, especially with its mountain of debt? It's no mean feat. This is not Midvaal. This is the city of Joburg.
But it's still governance. Governance is governance. It doesn't change whether you're facing a complex institution or a small institution. So the first thing we are concerned about, obviously, is the financial state and the liquidity of the City of Johannesburg. And it's something that we need to fix first, because everything happens as a consequence of getting the finances right. So if you don't fix your finances and don't fix your cash position and your current liquidity ratio of the City of Johannesburg, you won't get anything right.
Yeah.
So it means you must really touch on the governance architecture of Johannesburg, which is inefficient, which is really a bloated structure, which is not rendering the appropriate services, but rather creating layers on layers on layers, which ultimately hit the pocket of the residents of the City of Johannesburg.
Yeah, Bongani, let me come in there. Okay, a quick fix. Is there a quick fix, or would it take a decade to fix what's happened?
Look, there are things that we need to do that will happen over a number of years, and there are things that you can do immediately to start improving the liquidity ratio, but you need to approach it from a perspective where you understand what is possible and what is prudent for you to do in the first 60 days, in the first 6 months, in the first year, in the first 2.5 years, right down to 10 years. You're quite correct that it is ultimately overall a 10-year project to fix the City of Johannesburg, not just fix. I mean, when you speak now, the general rhetoric about the City of Johannesburg is fixed, which is just a minimum project, by the way.
Yeah.
You can't just stabilize only, but you must grow the City of Johannesburg, and you must ensure that it competes with the cities across the world. So back to the liquidity problem, you need to ensure that first you must resolve the issue of the budget. It must be a funded budget. Number two, you must reflect carefully on how you treat the consumer debt, because linked to the consumer debt is the fact that the services in Johannesburg is unaffordable, and you can understand the pressure of what you call the working poor, who are working, who should be middle class, but really are one salary away from poverty.
But can the city actually afford that? It's easy for you to come onto 702 and say, you know what, we'll give more money back, we'll make it more cost effective. But can you do that if you are mayor?
No, absolutely. Remember, we pass a budget as a city, and your budget must be funded, not in the case that you find ourselves in. And secondly, you need to deal with the debt of Johannesburg. You need to also segment. You can't just deal with the debt of Johannesburg by just cut-offs. You know, it's an inefficient mechanism employed alone. There has to be a variation, and we need to understand the household state of Johannesburg. There are households which can afford, and there's a bigger pool of households that cannot afford, and you need to deal with it within a progressive frame and create a social rate which we are working on and will propose. So we're not thinking about what we are suggesting and things that we're just thumb sucking, but it's also as a consequence of understanding the position, but more so the experience of local government and how you fix things and how
Sure.
you do things. But most importantly, linked to the financial aspect of it is the state of the infrastructure and not being maintained, which affects the general investment into the area, which affects the confidence residents, and also puts the situation in the mind of a voter of a resident. Why should they pay for such exorbitant services and yet basic services and maintenance is not happening?
Yeah.
I mean, these are
All
genuine
right.
concerns.
Okay. I hear you. Let's take a listen to some WhatsApp voice notes. I did invite 702 Land to ask one or two questions as well.
Morning. I think what I want to know now from political parties is who they are planning to enter in a coalition with. I think as Johannesburgers and probably South Africans, we've realized we are definitely now in a situation where we'll have coalition politics for a very long time. So it is important for me to know up front, who are they planning to go into a coalition?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. Thanks so much for your WhatsApp. If you don't win an election outright, you will most probably, and our listener is right, Bongani, you will have to go into a coalition. Are there parties you'll work with? Would you work with the ANC? But then you may have to go into a coalition with the DA.
Look, I think that's a very important question, and that's a question I'm going to clarify when we unveil our manifesto for City of Johannesburg in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you're not answering the question. Are there parties you won't work with?
Absolutely. The DA is a party that we'll never work with.
EFF?
We'll clarify all of the others, but what we've certain at this stage is that the DA is a party we'll not work with.
All right, we'll leave that one there. Talking about your party's People's Mandate, and it's due to be released, I think, on Friday. What do you think needs to be in that mandate?
Look, our contribution thus far has ensured that we've contributed a lot in terms of how to get the finances right and how to improve governance in local municipalities, but also how to clarify the interface between the political side of government and also the professional side, and ensure that we create a firm buffer between the political side and the administration, because administration must ensure that it's professionalized and can do its purpose. But we stress a lot in terms of infrastructure maintenance, because there's a persuasion in local government generally now that to build the new and forget the old.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we must sustain the old and ensure that it lasts much longer and extend its useful lifespan.
Yeah,
so we look at really...
Some parties have also spoken about, say, city power, doing away with such entities. Are you saying rather keep those entities, but just fix them?
No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying when specifically to entities, we're saying we're going to be rationalizing entities. There are entities that the city has that are not part of their core trading services. And effectively what those entities are doing is creating layers on layers of catered deployment for the African National Congress, which is really inefficient and not yielding the type of dividends. And I think in the rationalization that we'll explain the process we'll follow and how we'll ensure that we move some non-core entities back to the user departments.
Yeah.
So there's much more that we're doing, because we feel that the current structure and the architecture of Johannesburg is inefficient and not effective for delivery and to ensure that it's resident-centric.
Yeah. All right. You are elected mayor. Let's have a look at that. If you are, what happens in that first week or two or three? What are the big areas that you'll focus on as soon as you hit the ground running, if you were to be mayor?
Look, not where. We're going to be mayor. The Mkhonto is going to lead the government of City of Johannesburg. And upon taking office, we're obviously going to ensure we appraise ourselves with the most recent and current state of the finances to work towards a credible adjustment budget that will happen in February, January. So we'll gear ourselves for that. We'll also integrate our manifesto into the City of Johannesburg, but immediately improve services and ensure that it's basic services that it's put at the center, and strengthen our law enforcement, because we're working within a specific financial plan which is approved by the city. So we'll do two things. We'll work within that plan, but also plan for the future and ensure that we integrate all the value additions that we are bringing as a government. But most importantly, we must speak honestly about the state of some of the administration in the city of Johannesburg and the choices that have been made over the years, which is a concern for us. We must restore hope for the residents of Johannesburg and ensure that we build a model city for everyone, really.
There we go. Restore hope. Bongani, thank you so much. Bongani Bingwa, he's the Mkhonto Sizwe Johannesburg mayoral candidate. candidate. Thank you for coming on to 702. And as part of 702's drive to ask some tough questions and to find out exactly who you may want to or may not want to vote for. It gives you choice. That's called democracy. Reaction, please.
Your community, your concerns, your voice. Follow every moment of the local government elections on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za. EWN Business.
729, Mateo, RCL Foods reports subdued results.
Yeah, so those results coming out just after 7 this morning. RCL Foods says underlying EBITDA, this is earnings before any subtracted taxes or other expenses from continuing operations, declined by 8.6% to 2.1 billion rand, due mainly to significantly lower sugar and pet food results. The company says sugar was materially impacted by deep sea imports enabled by ineffective tariff protection in South Africa, which displaced local market sales into the lower price raw export market, while pet food was constrained by food safety related production disruptions, which constrained supply and the ability to meet demand in the second half. The company says underlying headline earnings are declined by 27%, largely due to the decline in EBITDA, compounding its losses by 127 million per share. Now, looking at the markets and how they've been performing this morning, that oil price rising more than 2%. There's heightened concerns over supply disruptions after U.S. forces struck 2 Iranian rocket launches on Larak Island. This was on Sunday. Futures for international benchmark Brent crude oil for November delivery gaining 1.5% overnight at $89 a barrel. That number now at $90. U.S. West Texas Intermediate futures for October also advancing more than 1.4% at $84 a barrel. The U.S. confirming that they had struck that particular island and looking for retaliatory charges and bombings then from Iran as well. So that tit for tat still continuing over the Strait of Hormuz. And how has that affected markets this morning? We've seen a far weaker rand this morning against the US dollar as a result, and 16 rand 17 cents against the US dollar, 18 rand 74 against the euro, 21 rand 90 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is down 0.5% at $4,424. Platinum down 1% at $1,810. That Brent crude price now 2.5% up at $90.48 a barrel. More business after 8.
Yo, that price is high. Thank you, Mateo. 7:31 to the time. Eyewitness News with Bathroom Bazaar pulling the plug on high prices. Safisa, high. I see the politics getting, the temperatures are rising in the Western Cape.
That's right, Ray. Good morning. The DA in the Western Cape has considered that it has poached a sitting ANC councillor after his name appeared on its list of candidates, which was submitted to the IEC on Friday. The ANC discovered last week that one of its ward councillors in Gugulethu, Thembinkosi Mjuza, was on the DA's list of candidates. Political parties inside and outside of council have been approaching incumbent councillors, hoping to attract them with the promise of a seat in council. These approaches have caused chaos as party leaders are uncertain about which of their incumbents have crossed the floor. Quintin Jala has more.
Democratic Alliance Cape Metro chairperson JP Smith says his party has taken measures to safeguard itself against party hoppers, threatening legal action to those appearing on 2 or more party nomination lists.
You may always have people who surprise you. It is in the nature of politics, as we were all surprised by those who walked over in 2001 with the so-called prostitutes.
Last week, the ANC called for the removal of 2 Gugulethu ward councillors, Thembinkosi Mjuza and Lindile Sonyoka, alleging they had joined the DA and Patriotic Alliance respectively. Quintum Gyala, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
Nearly 70,000 SASSA beneficiaries have yet to collect their post-bank black cards, with today's deadline marking the end of the migration process from the SASSA Gold Cards. The agency says people will still be able to get the new cards at designated collection sites after the deadline. But SASSA's Tamikele warns the old gold cards are no longer operational. He says beneficiaries must first collect their new post-bank black cards to access their grants.
We work with retailers, ShopRite, Pick n Pay, Boxer and Spars
We only require your ID. And we also importantly would like to emphasize to the beneficiaries that you do not have to go back to SASSA to register anything once you've collected the card. It works instantly.
One of the people in the alleged plot to kill top cop Charles Kinnear is expected to testify in the Western Cape High Court today. Yannick Adonis is expected to give evidence about events leading up to 3 botched attacks on Kinnear's life in 2019. Adonis is on trial with alleged underworld gang boss Nafiz Modak. Carlo Peterson reports.
Yannick Adonis has previously claimed he was acting as an informant for the anti-gang unit and that former AGU commander, the late Major General Andre Lincoln, knew about plans to target Charles Kinnear. Adonis also alleges police officials wanted to use a failed grenade attack as part of a plan to trap Modak. Those allegations were strongly denied by Lincoln when he was cross-examined during a trial within a trial before he passed away from an illness last year. Today's testimony is expected to focus on Adonis's role in the attacks, his dealings with police officers, and his version of what happened in the months before Kinnear's murder. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Iran has vowed a decisive response to the first American strikes on its territory in a month in a fresh flare-up in the Middle East war. Tehran's Revolutionary Guards say they've already retaliated to yesterday's attack by striking 2 U.S. military air bases with ballistic missiles in Washington, allied Jordan, causing heavy damage. Jordan's army says it intercepted 8 missiles without stating their origin. The attacks came after the U.S. attacked Iranian rocket launchers on a small island in the strategic shipping lane. Washington says its attacks were aimed at preventing Iran from launching more sea mines into the Strait of Hormuz, days after it announced it had completed clearing explosives from the waterway. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 7 and 10 degrees, peaking at highs between 25 and 26 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North in the Diepkloof area approaching the Diepkloof interchange. That's due to an accident. There's also an accident scene reported in Selby along the M2 West approaching the Crown interchanges, causing delays coming out of Heidelberg Road.
The top story this hour, the DA in the Western Cape has considered that it has poached a sitting ANC councillor.
For mind-blowing bathroom specials, come to Bathroom Bazaar. Celebrate spring with a small upgrade that makes a big difference. Get 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar so you can freshen up in style. That's right, 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar. But hurry, only while stocks last. That's P-I-Z-A-R-R-E. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices.
Whether you're climbing the career ladder or gearing up for retirement, proper financial planning is always key. And the Professional Provident Society Retirement Summit, happening on the 19th of September, is designed to help ease anxiety around retirement and get you on the road to financial freedom. No matter your life stage. Now, back for its 6th edition, the PPS Retirement Summit will feature keynote speakers such as author and business speaker Bruce Whitfield, as well as financial experts Mapela Maku, and you'll also get to join stimulating panel discussions for under 45s and over 45s that address wealth accumulation, wealth preservation, and the different generational needs associated with each. So secure your future by securing your seat at pps.co.za/retirement summit. That's pps.co.za/retirement summit. Registration costs R150 per person, which is then donated to the PPS Foundation in aid of developing education in South Africa. The Professional Provident Society Retirement Summit at Saturday, the 19th of September at NH Sandton.
Success doesn't wait. It doesn't copy. It doesn't ask permission. It moves. Powered by 125 kilowatts of turbocharged performance, 270 Newton meters of torque, and a 7-speed DCT transmission. Designed with electrically adjustable front seats, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and an 8-speaker Sony sound system. The new Jetour Dashing. Success looks different from 429,900. Get behind the wheel today.
Dad, how come Mom's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty. In it with you. All of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP, and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Hi, Ray and team. I think Bongani Baloyi spoke very well. And also, I think it's just the issue of being believable. And he's believable on the basis that he would have done this before and done it well, at least according to your audit reports and stability of the municipality that he led. And he led that municipality when I think he was very young, 26 or so. So I think even now he's matured as an individual and also a bit matured or more matured as a leader. So yeah, he's believable.
Morning, Ray. I'm Sweden Watema. Bongani Baloyi committed a career suicide by leaving DA first of all. He made it even worse by going and joining Zuma's party. Had he had a sound party behind him, he would be one of the candidates who stood a chance to become a mayor of Johannesburg by now. But politics is politics. But I don't see him becoming a city of Johannesburg mayor come the 4th November elections. Thank you.
Hi, Rain, the listener Sam here from Joburg. I'm just scared that this man, Bongani, will be removed by MK so soon. So he mustn't just relax there by MK. I don't trust MK at all. Sam from Joburg, thanks.
Right. The gentleman is the right person, but unfortunately he's with the wrong group. I don't think that can attract us to vote for him as a man. Thank you. It's Nimrod here. Good morning.
Good morning, Ray. Abram Torres. So I just have one question for this candidate of MK. How can we trust MK if its president is a convicted criminal? And the reason we still have state capture. What person in their right mind would consider MK to be their leader, unless you want to be associated with a criminal?
Hi Ray, good morning. So the person I would want as a mayor is, number one, an apolitical position, in other words, like a CEO. They should be concentrating in the next 4 years with electricity and water for Johannesburg. And number three, very important, must be willing to sign a contract that says if they found wanting or even a hint of corruption, the pension and the pay gets suspended completely while the investigation's being done. If they found to be innocent, you can back pay them. But this concept of being paid to sit at home for the next 3 to 5 years is completely unacceptable in South Africa. Thank you.
I think we're all mostly swimming in the same direction. We want service delivery. We want the city of Joburg to be the city that it can be, that it should be. I think for me, what sort of worries me a little bit about MK and Bongani Baloyi, he says the right things, and I enjoyed that interview, and I think that his heart is really there. He did very well with Midval. The only thing is, MK Party, they change so often. Their leadership changes, their membership changes, people change, and I think for me, that's a very, very, very big red flag.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First 1,000 Rand for the answer, then a little bit later on 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now and you could save in your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rands in cash. Right, let's get an answer now. Let's go to Lesego. Lesego, hi.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Now tell me something, Lesego. What then is the answer?
The answer is Michael Jackson.
Ooh, nice one, Lesego. And do you have a quote with Outsurance? Do you get a quote?
Yes, sir.
Well, there we go. You've got 1,000 Rands in cash, Lesego, on its way to you. courtesy of Outsurance and, of course, 702. Very nice. Okay, so the answer is Michael Jackson. What then is the question? We will take the 7th caller today. 011 883 0702. Up for grabs now, 2,000 rands in cash.
EWN Sport.
Sundowns versus Pirates. Something else to watch on the TV. I'm just loving this year. Aren't you loving this year?
Yeah, I love how closely contested the battles are now. So that'll be the MTN 8 final because Sundowns beat Golden Arrows 3-2 in the second leg of the semi-final yesterday, advancing to the final on the away goal rule. Chelsea's up to third in the Premier League after a 4-3 win over Brighton, while Man United came from a goal down to beat Ipswich 5-2, including a hat-trick from Bruno Fernandes.
Give a good performance to our fans. First game at home, they've been waiting long for this, so we wanted to not make up for last week because you can't get 6 points in this game, but we wanted to start the game on the front foot, be strong. I think we were in control of the game, even if we conceded the goal, and then second half we were very, very good.
Leeds and Brentford drew 1-0. Sunderland beat Fulham 1-0. Tonight, defending champions Arsenal are away at Aston Villa. Novak Djokovic is out of the US Open, beaten in the first round in 5 sets by Navone. South African Lloyd Harris is through to the second round after a straight sets win over Jack Kennedy, 6-4, 6-2, 6-2.
Either way, it's going to be a tough opponent, but I like the big stage. I like playing there, and I'm not scared to play anybody. I know I'm going to be not the favorite going into that one, that's for sure, but that's also a nice feeling. I feel like I've had the pressure now the last couple of matches, and all of a sudden when I play on Wednesday, it will be flipped a little bit, so I can go out there and try and produce some of the tennis that I have before.
Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus has fired back at All Black coach Dave Rennie's allegations that the Springboks have dodgy scrum tactics. Rassie says Rennie's simply feeling the pressure now.
They try to convince the people in the media we're slowing the game down, and we're not. If the referees get caught up by that, then there's obviously a plan to get that message out. And then we're not going to stay quiet and just say, yeah, you're right, we're walking around. We're not walking around. We're scrumming through. So, we've never ever been accused of walking around. So I don't understand it.
Back home, Griquas beating Boland Cavaliers by 31 points. To finish top of the Currie Cup, they'll host the Lions in the semi-final. Cheetahs will host the Pumas. Proteas fast bowler Kagiso Rabada has been ruled out of next month's ODI series with Australia through injury. In golf, South African Cassandra Alexander won the Irish Open by 3 shots. She finished on 20 under for her second European Tour title.
Yeah, really pumped. This one's really special. One, it's a special event, and two, I always feel like the second one is almost as important as the first one because, it's not a fluke. So glad I could get that done, and it's also Doug's first win on the bag, so really chuffed, and can't wait to get home and celebrate with friends and family.
And Scotty Scheffler won the Tour Championship by 3 shots, finishing on 16 under. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Thank you, Cindy. 14 minutes to 8 o'clock, and all sorts of traffic news at the moment. Peak time delays, I think, in quite a few places, Amo.
That's correct, Ray. We've got delays in the city of Tshwane along the N1 South between Rigel Avenue and the Water Avenue exit. And then if you are traveling on the N4 West in the city of Tshwane, queuing traffic just as you approach the Proof Plus interchange coming out of Tamboti Avenue. In fact, an accident is reported there, so please be on the lookout. Then if you're traveling on the N12 and the R24 West, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Edenville Road exit and the Gilulis interchange. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N1 North heading towards Four Ways between Bayers Nodia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Planning for retirement doesn't have to be overwhelming. Join PPS on the 19th of September for its annual retirement summit featuring award-winning speakers, authors, journalists, and also financial experts. Whether you're under 45 and focused on wealth accumulation or over 45 and thinking about wealth preservation, there's a program for your life stage. Enjoy a meal and gain insights for your financial future. 2 generations, 1 shared goal, greater financial freedom. At only 150 Rand per person. Book now at pps.co.za/retirement summit. PPS, success is better shared. PPS is a licensed life insurer, controlling company and authorized FSP.
Are you an investor who likes easy access to your money, or do you prefer locking it away?
Absolutely, to both.
ABSA has an account for you. Earn up to 7.5% with ABSA Cash Invest Tracker and get immediate access to your money, or earn up to 7.5% 7% with a 12-month dynamic fixed deposit account. Invest on the ABSA app. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Minimum investment required. Rates as of July 2026.
It's a good thing you're naked on a run. Because what if you're halfway through a self-help audiobook about letting go and your phone takes it literally? With Naked, you can submit your phone claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get device insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
You'll drive 20 extra minutes, walk past 3 competitors, ignore every special sign just to get to your place, your bakery, your bookshop, your car wash, your family restaurant. Because loyalty doesn't always choose the closest, it chooses the best. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Rewarding the local businesses and entrepreneurs that have earned that place in your life. The businesses that deliver every time and keep you coming back for more. Go to primemediaplus.com now to view the awards categories and nominate the business that's earned your loyalty. Because if they're worth the drive, they're worth the nomination. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Less admin, more time for what you love. Yoko, let's grow on 702 and primemediaplus.com.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance now to win 2,000 rands in cash. You had to give an answer so we could find you the question. And we gave 1,000 rand to Lesego, who gave us the answer of Michael Jackson. So now we need to have the question. All right, let's go to the 7th. I said the 7th caller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Winston in Observatory. Hi, Winston.
Morning, Mr. Ray. How are you?
Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, if I said to you, Michael Jackson is the answer, what then is the question?
Okay, the question is, what's the name of the American pop star who released an 18-minute cinematic music video on this day in 1987?
You've been listening to 702 Breakfast this morning. Winston, do you have a quote with Outsurance, or are you a member?
I'm a member via my funeral cover because I don't own a car yet, but I am without.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Winston, you won 2,000 rands in cash courtesy of Outsurance, of course. And yeah, you're quite right. Before making music videos became something we could watch whenever we wanted, you had to wait for the big premiere. And on this day, 1987, Michael Jackson gave the world another reason to tune in. His Bad music video premiered on CBS during the TV special Michael Jackson, The Magic Returns.
Watch your mouth. I know you claim what you're about. And they say the sky's the limit. And to me, this really true. I'm a friend, you have seen nothing. Just a way to argue because I'm bad. I'm bad. You know you know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know. And the whole world has to answer right now just to tell you once again who's bad.
Who's bad? Michael Jackson. There we go. 2,000 rands on its way. There, easy as that. All courtesy of Outsurance. And deciding to ignore the DIY instructions may only cost you a few hours, but thousands to stay with your current car insurance could be costing you thousands of rands in savings a year. With Outsurance, 48-year-old Adam saves an unbelievable 1,803 rand a month on his 2020 Audi Q3. Switch to Outsurance now. You too could be one quote away from having more money in your pocket every month. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142 now. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports. No more disconnected systems. No more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. istratgo.com.
You made your mark on Election Day. But what happens after the votes are counted? This week, catch the Clement Manyatela Show in conversation with the South African Local Government Association on 702. Tune in as we unpack how local democracy works, what you can expect from your ward councillor, and how every resident can play a meaningful role in shaping their community. Democracy lives here. Make your voice count beyond the ballot box. The Clement Manyatela Show in conversation with Salga, inspiring service delivery. This week on 702.
Joy of Jazz. The Standard Bank Joy of Jazz returns on September 25 and 26.
Thank you so much.
Join 702 at the Dina Lady stage. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
It's a good thing you're naked while reversing out the driveway. Because what if that sound you hoped was part of the song definitely wasn't? With Naked, you can submit your accident claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Kabazela, happy Monday.
Hey, Ray, happy Monday to you.
Sure. Did you watch your rugby?
I did. As many people did, and good victory for the Springboks. But I mean, this flyover has gone. I don't think I've ever gone onto my social platforms and seen so much chatter about aeroplanes flying over a stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's been a long tradition in South Africa that we do these flyovers. And I must admit, I kind of thought, it's nice, it's cool, it's a good tradition to have. And then I was thinking maybe, a couple of weeks back and all that kind of thing, it's getting a little bit sort of same.
Wow.
And then we had Saturday's event, which I thought was spectacular. I mean, I really thought if you're sitting in the stadium, that's what you want to feel. You want to hear the sounds of the jets going over the stadium, and almost like you could reach up and touch them. But it's got mixed views. I mean, a lot of international players and media outlets have picked it up and have described it as extremely dangerous and various other words. Local media have picked it up, but South Africans are defending it with their lives. They're like, this is what we do, this is how we roll, and various other comments, which I won't repeat, about Americans doing things with planes. But I mean, it's really got people talking, and I wanted to know what our 702 listeners' views were. Did you think it was great? Did you think it was wonderful? Or were you on the side of thinking, hey, it's pushing the limits, pushing the boundaries? I mean, the Airlink did release a statement saying it was all in line with the FAA rules, guidelines. They had approvals, they did rehearsals. It was piloted by 3 crew members in each plane who were very, very experienced. So ticked all the boxes when it comes to aviation rules. But what are your thoughts? What did you think about the flyover? And when it comes to defending things in South Africa, we can really, criticize each other, and we can criticize internally. But when it starts coming from outside, we will defend. So what are those things that you will defend South Africa about?
Yeah, okay.
No matter what, to the outside.
Their statement says planning, precision, and performance. And I get it, okay, planning. So that means they plan to fly that low. Precision,
Yes.
well, they did it well, and then performance was spectacular. So you kind of want to say, fine. If you knew what you were doing, then fine. Yeah?
Exactly. And apparently one of the pilot's names is Will Go Low. So Captain Will Go Low.
Will go
Joke,
low.
joke.
I was about to say, that's one of those dad jokes. All right.
It is.
Enough of those. Thank you, Kabazela.
So yeah, let's hear those this morning. I'd love to hear what people thought.
Yeah, absolutely. 072 702 1702.
702.
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Now, Babalile, you were Kabazela last week.
I was.
What's going on?
And he didn't even say thank you, Kabazela.
Yeah.
Kabazela.
Yeah, you were Babazela. There we go.
I was holding the floor for him. Anyway, Ray, we've had some strong reaction coming via the producer's desk, especially on that viral aviation event. Graham on WhatsApp has a question about safety. He wants to know whether the planes were flying at the same height they had rehearsed or whether they were much lower on that day. And Karabo says South Africa are reclaiming the sky for simple pleasures of aviation. He says America must just stop with their PTSD and lecturing us. And also we've asked that one big changer that voters want to see at the polls. Chad in Johannesburg says he's going to vote for a government that makes it law for people to live off-grid and become self-sustainable.
Okay.
And that big interview with MK Party's Johannesburg mayoral candidate, Tim on YouTube says he feels well led by Bongani Bingwa ahead of the November elections.
Yeah. I did enjoy the interview with him. We asked him some tough questions, and I did enjoy that interview. But I'm looking at the WhatsApp line. A lot of people asking questions about the MK Party, his association, his going from the DA to, he went through like 3 or 4 parties there afterwards. So there is that as well. Okay, 072 702 1702, talking about the flyover, talking about Bongani Bingwa and the MK Party. Here's the Joburg candidates there. Like I said before, a few red flags on that. It's just that they changed their leadership so fast, and that does bother me a little bit, I think, because, and also talking about SASSA payments this morning. Lots to talk about. Coming up just at about 10 to 9, the mask is finally coming off. La Sizwe Dambuza has been unmasked as Sushi on season 3 of The Masked Singer South Africa. So I'll be speaking to La Sizwe a little bit later on. It's just gone 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
The Crown Court is expected to make judgments in the case of Sisi Khampepe, and victims in Nepal's floods are being buried today. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Justice Sisi Khampepe will this morning learn whether she can continue in her role as the TRC Cases Inquiry chairperson. The Constitutional Court is set to hand down judgment in a bid by former Presidents Jacob Zuma and Thabo Mbeki to have Khampepe removed. Zuma and Mbeki are challenging a Johannesburg High Court ruling that dismissed their application to recuse Khampepe as chairperson of the inquiry. The former presidents argue that Khampepe's previous roles on the TRC Amnesty Committee and as National Deputy Director of the NPA in the 1990s create a reasonable apprehension of bias against him. Dimakato Leshuru has more.
The Johannesburg High Court dismissed their review application in March, with the majority finding it lacked jurisdiction to hear the matter. The court found that Zuma and Mbeki had failed to comply with Section 47(1) of the Superior Courts Act, which requires the Chief Justice's consent before civil proceedings can be instituted against a judge. Khampepe's legal team, led by now acting Constitutional Judge Tembeka Ngcukaitobi, successfully argued that the review application was not properly before the High Court, but one judge dissented. Judge Mudiba found that Section 47 did not apply in the circumstances and went on to consider the substance of the recusal application. She concluded that Khampepe's decision not to recuse herself was unlawful because it had been taken by her alone rather than by the 3-member commission. The Constitutional Court judgment will ultimately decide whether Khampepe remains at the helm of the investigation into the handling of apartheid-era crimes. Dimakato Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
The discharge application of former Defence Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula is set to be heard in the Pretoria High Court this morning. Mapisa-Nqakula has been on trial for corruption and money laundering. She is accused of soliciting payments from Defence Force contractor Nombasa Ntshondwa Ndlovu between 2016 and 2019 when she was Defence Minister. Khumutsu Modise has more.
Despite
Nombasa Nzondo Ndlovu, the woman accusing Nosiviwe Mapisa Nqakula of soliciting corrupt payments from her, taking the witness stand and several state witnesses corroborating her story, the former minister believes the state has failed to make a compelling case against her. That's why she's bringing a discharge application in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Mapisa Nqakula will argue this morning that the state has failed to present evidence against her and prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. Prosecutors of the investigating directorate will oppose this application, insisting there is a case for the former minister to answer. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News.
KwaZulu-Natal Hawks officer Dina Govender is set to return to the Madlanga Commission today. Govender, who heads the Hawks' KZN tracing team, has been implicated in alleged extrajudicial killings in that province. Karinda Jagmohan reports.
Suspicions have been raised over a 2023 police operation which resulted in the deaths of tow truck operator Bevan Loftus and 4 other men. IPID officer Len Jean accused Dina Govender of receiving over 2 million rand in separate payments around the time of the shooting, claiming links.
Due to this 2.5 million hit, Colonel Dina Govender and his team, they went all out looking for Bevan and the 4 deceased.
Govender denies this and maintains the operation was legitimate, stating the men were linked to drug crimes. He's set to defend the payments.
So all those funds commission is legitimate.
Meanwhile, Govender's application to give his evidence in camera has been partially denied. Karinda Jagmohan, Eyewitness News.
And Nepal has started burying some of the hundreds of bodies retrieved after a deadly tsunami-like flood crashed through the Himalayan region. Distraught families have packed rescue stations and hospitals in search for their missing relatives, while others have faced a grim task of identifying bodies. The huge wave of ice, rocks and debris that smashed into villages and towns on Wednesday claimed at least 797 lives in both Nepal and Tibet, with reports of some bodies possibly swept downstream as far as India. More than 3,000 people are still missing, including at least 6 South Africans. Gold is trading at $4,439.24 an ounce. The rand is at 16.16 to the dollar, 21.88 to the pound, 18.72 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $90.46 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North heading towards Florida. An accident right after the N17 turnoff is causing delays. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Airlines Interchange and Modderfontein Road due to an accident, as well as roadworks.
And in your sport, Mamelodi Sundowns beat Golden Arrows on the away goal rule to set up an MTN8 final with Orlando Pirates. Chelsea's up to third in the Premier League, while Man United beat Ipswich 5-2 at Old Trafford. Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus says All Black coach Dave Rennie must stop moaning. And South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round of the US Open.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 25 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Justice Sisi Khampepe will this morning learn whether she can continue in her role as the TRC Cases Inquiry Chairperson.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Your community, your concerns, your voice. Follow every moment of the local government elections on 702 Cape Talk and ewn.co.za.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
7 minutes past 8 o'clock. Ray in for Bongles this morning. Whoa, in the past hour. So much to talk about. I was chatting to Bongani Bingwa, who is the MK Party's mayoral candidate. I'd love your views, your feedback. I think he came across really well. There are questions about the MK Party. There are questions about him leaving the DA, though. What are you thinking? And also, I asked you, what's a game changer that needs to be announced by a party or a candidate for you to vote for them? What's that one little switch that needs to be flicked and you think, all right, you've said traffic lights. I'm going to be voting for you because of that. What would you like to hear from some of your mayoral candidates? It could be for Ekurhuleni, Swane, wherever you are listening to us from. I'd like to hear from you. We also found out about the new Postbank Black Cards for SASSA payments. The deadline is today. Go and get that black card. If you don't get the Postbank card, you won't be able to use the Gold Card. Then Kabazela asked, or we discussed exactly what we've been talking about this morning, the two planes flying over Cape Town Stadium before the rugby, causing a stir and asking, were they too low? I think that's what everyone wants to talk about this morning. So tell us, were they too low? I still have the jury's still out on this one. I'm sort of having to make up my mind. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Were they too low? Mateo, you said no. You're being ridiculous. They were fine.
Well, we've still got another few tests to play. Oh, one more in South Africa, which is, I think, this week. And I expect there to be another flyover.
Well, they've got to beat that one. You can't just have there go the planes.
You can't challenge each other on the flyovers. Just fly the planes over the stadium. This is where we start getting into trouble.
Something's got to land in the stadium. I'm just putting it out there, guys. But anyway, what are your thoughts on the big flyover? And then something else we do need to talk about. I mean, sure, this thing in Tibet, in Nepal, and the Gift of the Givers founder, Imtiaz Suleiman, saying efforts to find 6 South Africans who went missing after those floods in Nepal will be extremely challenging. And of course, those search and rescue operations continuing today. This is what he had to say.
From when we got the information on Thursday, there is no contact. There is no functioning phone. There's no information, nothing. So we're not sure where they are. What we do know is that all 6 were close to the area where the floods were, either on the Nepal side of the border or the Tibet side of the border. So, and then right now, nothing can be done because the search and rescue teams can't move freely. The water levels are high. It's still raining. There's still the fear of more glaciers coming down. There's a fear of landslides and mudslides. The Chinese government is not allowing any movement on the Tibet side because of these risks. But there is one other great risk. The dam in the area on the Nepal side of the border, there's a fear that it's filling up and the dam wall is going to crack and they're going to have a secondary major catastrophe like what they had on Wednesday. So until all that fear is gone and the risk is gone, it's going to be very difficult to actually search for 6 South Africans among thousands that are missing.
Gosh, yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with those families.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Right, let's take 1 or 2 calls. Albert in Tembisa. Hi, good morning. Welcome to 702. You saying well done to MK?
Yes. Good morning. I really appreciate. My name is Albert Banimulukwani from Tembisa.
Yeah, Albert. And your thoughts on Bongani Bingwa? I mean, you heard the interview this morning. What's your reaction?
He's very, very good. I'm over the moon. I'm so happy. I'm so happy about MK Party. They chosen a very, very dedicated, young, who went to school, who led before, who understands liquidity, who is tried and trusted. The person who is organized, who put Midvan on the map.
Okay.
I'm so proud of MK Party.
There we go. Albert, right. Bongani Bingwa, you got a fan there. MK Party as well. Albert saying the MK Party have chosen a great candidate. What do you say? 0727021702.
Ray, good morning. The guy you just spoke to, Bongani Bingwa, look, he's a very good guy. And I think he's very good at what he does. But if he thinks he's going to be the MKP mayor in Johannesburg, then he's not as smart as I thought he is. Because the MKP would just want to use his face and his name. And if it happens that they win Johannesburg, I can tell you right now, there is the real mayor of Johannesburg who the MKP will bring to Johannesburg, not Bongani Bingwa. But anyway, let him try, we'll see. But I can tell you right now, he's not going to be the mayor. Joseph in Mondio.
Morning, Ray. It's refreshing to hear a conversation about local government, actually talking about local government and not a national competence like immigration, the buzzword in South Africa. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do, saying, what are you going to do? We're just going to go get rid of all the immigrants. Then our problems will be solved, which is a lie. So it's refreshing to hear somebody actually talk about bread and butter things instead of the buzzword immigration. Thank you. This is Kechi from Mikuru.
Good morning, Ray, and to your guest, Bongani. I hear your guest is talking, the right talk, I must say. He's saying the right things in terms of how to lead municipality or city, as it were. But what guarantee does one have that if you were to vote for his party because of him, as you are preparing to lay your plans, he will not be recalled on a midnight chop and changing that is synonymous with his party? Listen on the radio. What guarantee does he have that he will, if he were to be elected, he will go the full term? Kiki.
You see, there are two elements that come into this, and that's the one element. What's the guarantee that they'll keep him there? The other element as well is when it comes to the MK party, they may have to enter into a coalition with another political party. So who will that be? And I asked Bongani Bingwa that, and I said to him, who's in, who's out? Who would you go into a coalition with? Well, the DA, he said, is out. He says they haven't made their mind up about the rest. He'll very soon be doing something, or they'll be announcing something on that. Tuso in Soweto, hi. Tuso, asking the question to voters, what's the one thing you would like to see happen? And then that person will win your vote. Tuso, what's your one thing?
Good morning, Ray. I just wanted to find out and tell you guys that there were people that were on multiple occasions coming to the mayoral office submitting for pick it up positions, and they were told they should come there, sign in, create a list for them to be recruited. The whole of last year they've been going there back and forth from Soweto, Joburg, you name it. They've been going there back and forth. So nothing has happened, you understand? So I just wanted to raise that issue. Please look into that list of people that were submitted for pick it up. They were promised jobs, and nothing has happened till now.
Yeah, you see, that's a major problem too. So thank you so much. That's exactly that, and also creating false hope. Jobs, infrastructure, the list just goes on and goes on.
Let's talk.
We're listening. So just to answer also Kabazela's question, this is Makoma from Pretoria. I would defend South Africa by all means when it comes to claims that we are xenophobic, of which we are not. If anyone would know, protecting your country is not a xenophobic attack to other foreign nationals. So that's what I will always protect South Africa against.
Good morning, 702 and the team. Regarding South Africans, first of all, it's just quantum physics. Airlink is the quantum of the air, so they say, and we go over the buildings, we don't go through them. That's that one comment that I think Americans was like, that was a very sensitive thing for them. But our culture, our Ubuntu, our people, we know our problems, we know our home, and nobody else can tell us anything. When we come together, and united we shall stand.
Oh, I like that. United we shall stand. In fact, on Saturday night, I was in this busy sports club, and I must admit, the people around me, it was beautiful. It was just absolutely beautiful to see those green and gold jerseys. You see, guys, I wore my green and gold jersey on Friday. I'm going to tell you what happened. We won.
So you're going to do that again?
Yeah, Friday. Every Friday.
And we're going to win?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, why would we not?
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Right, 702 Gauteng's greatest awards, powered by Yoko, are back to celebrate the independent businesses that make Gauteng what it is. Decided entirely by the community's own nominations and votes. Nominations are now open and close on the 15th of September, giving you the chance to put forth the local spots that keep you coming back for more, the ones who's earned your loyalty. Now, for Yoko, backing this award is personal Independent businesses are exactly who they are built for, and this campaign puts a spotlight on the loyalty and community support that keeps them going. So it's the 702 Gauteng's Greatest Awards. I think this is such a beautiful initiative. And of course, here to tell us more is the co-founder of Yoko, Cole Wazen. Cole, hi, good to chat to you.
Yeah, hi, good to be here.
Yeah, nominations for Gauteng's Greatest are officially open, like I said. Tell us what this award is all about.
Yeah, so Gauteng's Greatest is about putting a spotlight on the independent local businesses that power the province, and gives it its unique character. So it by letting their community decide, who deserves their recognition, it's almost about, them, saying thanks to the people who are, I guess, powering the province and who they can't really live without.
Yeah, I suppose Yoko getting behind an award like this is a no-brainer because all small businesses use Yoko. I think it's a great step.
That's quite a stretch to say. All small businesses use Yoko. We'd love that to be the case, but we do our best. I think so. Local entrepreneurs and independent business owners are like heroes to us, as you can imagine. They're exactly who we exist for, and they're quite inspirational because in many ways they risk everything, to build something for their communities. And really they give life to their communities, and I think people's lives would be a lot more dull without them, and they're just inspirational, and many of them they start from nothing, start from the bottom, and it's a risky affair, but they do it still, and that's what we want. We want more independent businesses on every corner. We want them to thrive.
Yeah. Okay, so if someone listening runs an independent business here in Gauteng, what's Yoko actually doing to help them hold on to that loyalty? Because it's all about customer loyalty. What's Yoko doing to help them hold on to that loyalty and keep growing?
Yeah, so we started off doing giving businesses access to payments, which continues to be a very important part of our business. But we've since been listening to our merchants and realizing that payments is I guess the foundation and one piece of what they need. And since then, on top of the payments, we've been building a number of additional products. So we've built a big Yoko Capital, which helps them get funding, which is connected to their payments. And more recently, we've built Yoko Loyalty, which is also connected to their payments, which lets them reward their consumers for their repeat behavior. And what's amazing is that those consumers have been loyal already, many of them, but that loyal behavior has not been rewarded. So Yoko Loyalty gives them a way to get rewards back without them needing to do much. They just need to give their mobile number once, and after that, with every tap, they get points back.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I suppose. What else would you then say to someone thinking about nominating their favorite local spot? You've kind of answered that, but there's more to it than that.
Well, I'd say, I think for us, like small businesses in celebration, it's a risky thing to do, and so we need to encourage it, and so do it. I think get behind your local business, your local champion, and really get the word out. They're fighting a difficult fight, the economy, big business, and so they need your vote. And so please go out there. The nominations close on the 15th of September. So go out there and tell your friends.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Co-founder of Yoko, Cole Wazen, thank you so much for joining us on 702 Breakfast. Now, this year's awards are all about loyalty. So we're asking you, the regulars who keep local businesses alive, to give the businesses that have earned your loyalty the recognition that they deserve. So think about the businesses you keep choosing, the ones that always deliver, the ones you genuinely miss if it wasn't there tomorrow. If they've earned your loyalty, they've earned your nomination. So nominate them now on primemediaplus.com.
EWN Traffic.
22 minutes past 8 o'clock. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Oh, what a morning it's been. Peak hour traffic, 1 or 2 accidents, now Rosebank delays.
That's correct, Ray. An accident reported along Oxford Road, right near Bolton Road. It's causing heavy delays. Bolton Road in itself is heavily backed up coming out of Jan Smuts Avenue. And then, of course, if you are traveling on the Mark 1 North, do anticipate delays between the Killarney Bains and Grayston Drive off-ramp due to peak time delays. I'll have more updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Well, the Outsurance pointsmen can't help you find your missing shoe, but they can get the traffic flowing smoothly so you can get your meeting on time. The Outsurance pointsmen are real heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion and making our lives easier for almost 21 years. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
How's it, Ray? No, I think from an aviation stand perspective, the planes went low. If you go to airplane shows, geez, some of the stuff the guys do is the kind of stuff that'll make you scared. But yeah, it's literally something that happens all the time. I think people are just jealous more than anything, because it's a beautiful spectacle. And whenever South Africa does something good, I mean, now you can even hear the New Zealand rugby coach whining. We always just get scrutinized, and unfortunately, now whether or not it's low or not, because as South African as we are, we defend. It's much of a muchness. If they hadn't said anything and the conversation was having internally, I think then the criticisms would be different. But as it stands, the planes are perfectly fine. We'll go low, should go a bit lower.
We'll go lower at the FNB Stadium this Saturday.
I have always said MK, EFF are mini branches of ANC, and your speaker just confirmed it. They won't work with the DA. They'll work only with the EFF, obviously, and the ANC, because they are one party. If it doesn't go to Mkhonto, they probably discuss, the comrades. They go around the table, they sit. Okay, if they don't vote for Mkhonto, they'll obviously vote for ANC or EFF. So it's just to divide and conquer. They won't go with the DA. The DA, we've seen how they've ran successful municipalities, and if they have to go on a collision with other parties, then it's a problem, because there'll always be the vote of no confidence. So yeah, obviously the guy, it's just a strategy. Thank you. Bye.
Is it a strategy? If you have a look at Bongani Bingwa and where he comes from, he was in the DA. And at the time, when he left the DA, he said, you know what, it's just time for me to move on, time for me to try different other things. And we accepted that. Then later on, he said, no, I'd actually left because of Gogo Helen. I had left because of the politics within the DA. So in his defense, the reason why he's not going to join up with the DA is the same reason that Herman Mashaba is not going to join up with the DA in a coalition, because they've got history there. And the history's not great, good or bad or ugly. And no matter which way you feel about it, they've got history there. So I can totally understand why Bongani Bingwa does not want to be. Mateo, you looking at me?
No, I'm asking the question, who is it for then, if you're worried about people you've worked with in the past? Is it not for the people you're about to serve?
Well, that's $1 million question.
If you don't have great relationships with people you worked with before, does that mean you don't work with them going forward?
Well, it's called politics, not friendship 100.
So what about the citizens then?
Well, that's the big question. What about it? But that's it. If you don't get on with someone and you've got history with someone, I can see why you don't want to be with someone.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Morning, Adam. Adam, are you with us? Oh, let's see. We got Adam talking about Ukraine's tragic own goal after an ammo dump in a village was hit. Let's see if we got Adam. Adam, are you with us? Okay, you're not. Also, the other one he wants to talk about this morning is Iceland says no to the EU. They had this referendum at the weekend, and the big subject had come up, should we join the EU? Because there's a few worries about Donald Trump, and he's had a look at Greenland and now maybe Iceland. Anyway, they had their big referendum, and they've said no to the EU. Still no, Adam? Okay, and he also wants to talk about Poland's pizza prankster. Here's the thing, Mateo. I don't see how this is funny in any way. Going around and ordering pizzas for people and as a prank. And then in one instance, this 300 pizzas were ordered for someone's house. These pizzas pitched up, and of course, it's cash on delivery, COD. How is that funny?
He probably doesn't like the guy. They should probably trace the address and find out if there's any relation between him and the guy that's got the pizzas, because he probably wanted him to pay a hefty bill.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about that, we had pizza at the weekend, and I think the next time I have pizza is the next time we have payday. So there we go. Right, 072-702-1702. I don't think we've got Adam this morning, so let's see what's happening in your business news.
EWN Business.
Something I do want to know about this morning, I really do want to know about, is the oil price. Why on earth is it over $90?
Already, the benchmark Brent crude oil climbed 2.7% this morning to $90.49 per barrel. The rally followed a U.S. strike on Iranian forces on Larak Island and a subsequent Iranian attack targeting U.S. bases in Jordan. Persistently low traffic on that Strait of Hormuz, shipping attacks and renewed mining concerns could continue to support a geopolitical risk premium on crude oil. Oil prices climbing in early Asian trade as well this morning after the U.S. struck Iran for the first time in over a month, with Iran then retaliating against the U.S. Bases in Jordan. South Africa, of course, among the top 20 hardest hit countries since the Strait of Hormuz disruptions in February, with importers paying billions in rands for more to acquire crude oil. So we will definitely be hurt at the petrol pumps is basically what it means. If this stays this way and we're seeing this volatility happen, a country that's really a net importer of oil like South Africa is definitely going to feel the pain.
And this war is not finishing anytime soon, right? RCL Foods reports subdued results.
Yeah, RCL Foods says underlying earnings before deductions declined by 8.6% to 2.1 billion rand. This was down from the 2.3 billion reported last year. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization were down due mainly to significantly lower sugar and pet food results. Sugar was impacted by imports enabled by ineffective tariff protections which displaced local market sales into the lower price raw export market, while pet food was disrupted by food safety related productions which constrained supply and the company's ability to meet demand in the second half of the year. Headline earnings there down at 27%. Looking at the market in Asia, things were a little lower this morning because of that caution that's been brought on by the volatility of oil. On Friday, the JSE ending the week in a positive note, up more than 1,000 points. Companies that did well there, Valterra up 5.9%. They're rumored to put in that bid to buy Northam. Sasol up 5% as the oil price goes up. Altron was up 2.7% as Sibanye-Stillwater up 2.4%. DRD Gold was down 2%. Pick n Pay down 1%. Truworths amongst the losers as well. Dis-Chem down 0.5% on Friday. The rand this morning, 16 rand 16 cents, 18 rand 73 against the euro, 21 rand 89 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is also a little lower, not helping the rand much this morning, $4,433 an ounce, while platinum is down 1% at $1,811. Brent crude now up 2.8% at $90.80 a barrel. More business from Stephen Grootes later this afternoon.
Thank you, Mateo. 8:31 is the time. Coming up in about 20 minutes from now, talking about the Masked Singer. The latest unmasking has happened at the Masked Singer. So, Fiso, what's making news headlines?
Thanks, Ray. Good morning. Well, the DA in the Western Cape has considered that that it has poached a sitting ANC councillor after his name appeared on its list of candidates, which was submitted to the IEC on Friday. The ANC discovered last week that one of its ward councillors in Gugulethu, Thembinkosi Mjuza, was on the DA's list of candidates. Political parties inside and outside of council have been approaching incumbent councillors, hoping to attract them with the promise of a seat in council. These approaches have caused chaos as party leaders are uncertain over which of their incumbents have crossed the floor. Quintin Jala takes a look.
Democratic Alliance Cape Metro chairperson JP Smith says his party has taken measures to safeguard itself against party hoppers, threatening legal action to those appearing on 2 or more party nomination lists.
You may always have people who surprise you. It is in the nature of politics, as we were all surprised by those who walked over in 2001, the so-called prostitutes.
Last week, the ANC called for the removal of 2 Gugulethu ward councillors, Thembinkosi Mjuza and Lindile Sonyoka, alleging they had joined the DA and Patriotic Alliance respectively. Quintum Gyala, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
One of the people in the alleged plot to kill top cop Charles Kinnear is expected to testify in the Western Cape High Court today. Yannick Adonis is expected to give evidence about events leading up to 3 botched attacks on Kinnear in 2019. Adonis is on trial with alleged underworld gang boss Nafiz Modak. Carlo Peterson reports.
Yannick Adonis has previously claimed he was acting as an informant for the anti-gang unit and that former AGU commander, the late Major General Andre Lincoln, knew about plans to target Charles Kinnear. Adonis also alleges police officials wanted to use a failed grenade attack as part of a plan to trap Modak. Those allegations were strongly denied by Lincoln when he was cross-examined during a trial within a trial before he passed away from an illness last year. Today's testimony is expected to focus on Adonis's role in the attacks, his dealings with police officers, and his version of what happened in the months before Kinnear's murder. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And at least 8 people have died and 18 others are still missing after a passenger boat capsized off the northern Cyprus. Unal Ustel, the Prime Minister of the self-proclaimed Turkish Republic of Cyprus, says the ferry had been carrying 259 passengers and 8 crew members when it began taking on water. The captain and 7 crew members have been detained as part of an investigation into how this tragedy happened. Officials say the majority of those on board have been rescued. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 25 and 26 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Airlines Interchange and Modderfontein Road due to accidents along this route. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 and the R24 West between Barbara Road. This is if you're traveling on the R24 West towards the Kilulis Interchange. And then on the N12 West, the queue starts roundabout Craft Road towards the Kilulis Interchange.
The top story this hour, the DA in the Western Cape has conceded that it has poached a sitting ANC councillor after his name appeared on its list of candidates, which was submitted to the IEC on Friday.
Smart business moves save money. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Stephen from the Villa Rosa.
I was with my previous insurer for 8 years and then I switched to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with the premiums and switching was the best decision we ever made.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Looking at South Africa's favorite protein, chicken, it's made a great comeback in terms of pricing.
When foot and mouth disease broke in the red meat industry, there was an opportunity for us as a trusted, affordable, versatile protein. And we had a tailwind in terms of pricing. I think things have and are normalizing in the red meat industry. We know the consumer is constrained.
CEO of Rainbow Chicken, Martina Standard.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show is brought to you by ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking. Across West Africa, Genza Energy is strengthening reliable energy supply with more than 334 megawatts of installed generation capacity, while building the infrastructure needed for future growth. Through a EU 456 million rand financing facility, ABSA CIB is proud to support Genza's progress. That's how we're invested in your story. ABSA is a registered FSP.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Brought to you by BCX. Technology that helps organizations move forward.
Ray and team. Ray, you know, this with the flyover, I think it's just sour grapes and jealousy. If it had been a European pilot or an American pilot, we would have heard how their praises would have been sung. But because it's our pilots, and, you know, we're here in Africa, down at the bottom of the continent, what can we do? Well, yes, it was dangerous, but I think they're professional enough to have done what they did. So kudos to them. And yeah, take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Good morning, Ray. The American must just chill. I think they're jealous of South Africa. Yeah, because if there was something wrong that happened, then we all understand. Nothing happened. Those things were rehearsed. Nothing happened. It was down and so what? Nothing happened. That is bad. No, Americans, they must just chill. Castro here in EV.
But what isn't the purpose of doing this maneuver to fly the aircraft as slow as possible? I don't understand. But perhaps if that wasn't the tradition, they would just be flying to 2,000 feet above the stadium. But the purpose of this is to fly low, isn't it? I'm confused. I don't understand what the fuss is about.
The fuss is about, look, I must admit, when they went over the stadium, I did kind of say to myself, that's very low. But planning, precision, performance, that's what the statement has said from Airlink. And the big fuss is, it's so great to be sitting in a stadium. And I remember about 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to go to Ellis Park and lucky enough to watch the All Blacks in South Africa. We didn't win that one, but the planes came over. In fact, there were a few planes that came over. And just that roar and the crowd erupting when they see that, it's just so beautiful. It's so lovely to be South African. We've got the Springboks. The United States may have whatever they've got, but we have got the Springboks. I mean, proud about them. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So that roar, that gees, as they say in Afrikaans, you don't get it anywhere else in this world.
I don't think many people understand the technology in the modern aircrafts, you know. That pilot did not make a mistake. He knew how low he was, or he knew the altitude he was flying, you know. And for some reason, people would complain as if it was an accident waiting to happen. That aircraft can notify him how low he is, how close he is to the stadium, and what is safe and what is not. He knew what he was doing. I don't know. The fast, corner, come on.
EWN Sport.
Anyway, Cindy Paluto, moving on now. And this is the nice thing about what's on the go at the moment. Soccer tonight again. I mean, we've had every day there's something to watch. It's just beautiful.
It's lovely. I love this time of year. So tonight, Arsenal, the defending Premier League champions, are in action. They're playing Aston Villa at 9 o'clock. Yesterday, Chelsea held off Brighton 4-3 to go third on the table. Man United came from a goal down to beat Ipswich 5-2, including a hat-trick from Bruno Fernandes. Leeds and Brentford drew 1-0. Sunderland beating Fulham 1-0. Orlando Pirates will play Mamelodi Sundowns in the MTN8 final. Yesterday, Sundowns beat Arrows 3-2 to finish the semi-final legs level on 3-3 aggregate. Sundowns advancing on the away goal rule. It was 2:30 in the morning in New York where Venus Williams just lost to Sophia Kenin in the first round, 6-2 and 7-6. Earlier, Novak Djokovic was knocked out in the first round by the unseeded Mariano Novane in 5 sets, his earliest exit at a major in 20 years.
I had enough energy to battle him and to keep up with his rhythm for 2 sets. After that, I gassed out. And at the press conference, when I spoke to you guys, I said, I'm going to do my very best to get my body in shape to sustain that level and that rhythm for as many hours as it's needed, but it wasn't enough. That's something I, unfortunately, at this point in time, my career can't control. So.
Later today, the women's top seed, Sabalenka, opens her campaign. It's a long-awaited return from injury for Carlos Alcaraz as well. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus says All Black coach Dave Rennie is now feeling the pressure, and that's why he's creating a misconception that the Boks have dodgy scrum tactics.
So, if you want to start moaning about stuff like that, then they're under pressure. Of course, last week we didn't moan after there was clear head contacts a lot of time. And today in the first 40, there was 4 head contacts, and nothing was done about it.
The Currie Cup semi-finals will be Griquas hosting the Lions, Cheetahs hosting Pumas. The Proteas have called up Andile Simelane to replace the injured Luto Sipamla in the current T20 Tri-Series. Proteas play Zimbabwe tomorrow, while Rabada's been ruled out of the upcoming ODI Series with Australia. And in golf, South African Cassandra Alexander won the Irish Open by 3 shots. She finished on 20 under for her second European Tour title. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Your business needs an additional mobile scaffold tower, but do you have the cash to fund it? Before you compromise on the core items your business needs, have you looked at saving on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium for plumbing, electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08 600 60,000 today. A licensed insurer and FSP, T's and C's, and information online.
As a graduate professional, you know success takes time, discipline, and smart decisions. Retirement is no different. Years of saving and investing help build your wealth so it can support the retirement you deserve. Join us at the annual PPS Retirement Summit on 19 September and gain insights to grow and preserve your long-term wealth.
Because consistent contributions and protecting what you've built all add up. Visit pps.coza/retirement summit now. PPS, success is better shared. PPS is a licensed life insurer controlling company and authorized FSP.
EWN Traffic.
Right, Amo, let's wrap up that traffic. How are we looking?
Well, Ray, unfortunately, if you're traveling in the east of Joburg this morning, you have hectic delays to deal with, like on the R24 West between the Barbara Road exit and the Giluli's interchange. The N12 West is also heavily backed up between Edenville Road and the Giluli's turnoff. And then if you're traveling on the N3 North, the stop and go between the Airlines interchange and Modderfontein Road due to 2 earlier accident scenes. And then if you're heading towards Sandton, do expect delays along the Markwan North between the Kilani Bends and Greyston Drive off-ramp. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between the Samrand Avenue exit and Olifantsfontein Road. I'll have more updates. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
It's a good thing you're naked when pulling into a petrol station. Because what if the pedal you just stamped on wasn't the brake? With Naked, you can submit your accident claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
At Crawford International, confidence is built every day. We're encouraged to find our voice, think independently, and lead with courage, integrity, and compassion. In the classroom, on the sports field, and beyond, we learn to step forward, embrace opportunity, and make a meaningful difference. Book your personalized tour and experience Crawford International for yourself. Crawford International, building global leaders.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Now, this is somebody I don't seem to see quite often enough. Clement Manyatela.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
Reza. Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's on your show today?
Well,
Because it's my drive.
I see you a lot when I watch the Business Day TV.
Oh,
so
yes.
at least I can watch you on the screens.
Yeah, sorry about the makeup. They get a little bit heavy sometimes, you know. Yes.
No, you look good. You look good. Coming up on the show today, we'll start with the open line, some reflections on the rugby. over the weekend. I was at
Yeah.
the stadium and it was just incredible.
I have to ask you,
Yeah.
okay, those planes came over. What did it feel like?
So, I mean, it was exhilarating. So, to be honest, almost everybody I was sitting next to and with there, when the planes flew past, they went, "Whoa, that's so low," but in an excitable way, right? It wasn't, "Oh, that's so low. Do they know what they're doing?" It was more, "Geez, these pilots must be incredibly skilled to be able to do that low fly past." But yeah, it was so exhilarating seeing that. It was so beautiful. So I have some reflections on that as well. We'll talk about President Cyril Ramaphosa's what he said about Dada Morero's apology. I do want to ask the listeners about how we sometimes respond to celebrities or public officers when they are human and they make mistakes. I do think that we set a standard too high, and rightly so, because, I mean, in this case, this is a public official. But at what point then do we leave room for humanity? Because they are still human at the end of the day. So they're not perfect human beings. So when they mess up and they come and say, sorry, are you a type of person who says, you should have known better, therefore I don't accept your apology? Or do you go, you know what, I get it, you're human, let's move on?
I actually do get it. I actually do get it. I lose my temper once in a while.
I mean, have you never sworn on air?
Well, not this morning anyway, but close.
Like, I've come so close.
I get angry sometimes.
I've heard many presenters who have somehow, they have sworn on air, and not because of anything, but because there's a way that sometimes people speak, and then you say it, then you apologize. But yeah, some people feel apology not accepted. So I want us to interrogate that a bit. And then we'll also talk about Firoz Khan. He was expected to be at the Madlanga Commission this week. And guess what?
He's sick. He's back in hospital.
I think we need to move the infrastructure of the Madlanga Commission to the hospital at this rate. Because, we can't be played like this. At 10 o'clock, though, we're going to speak to Norman Arendse, Senior Counsel. That's the chair of the UCT Council. I'm trying to find out what on earth is happening at UCT. It looks like Council or some members of Council are fighting with the Vice Chancellor, Professor Moshabela.
I saw that at the weekend. The Sunday Times had that story.
Sunday Times had a story of a former university staffer who says, one of the allegations made against the prof, the Vice Chancellor, is apparently an allegation that I made myself. And this former staffer says, I never made that allegation.
It wasn't me.
So what's going on? So the chair of the UCT Council will come and explain. At 10:30, we are going to continue with our series that we're doing every Monday at 10:30, looking at some of South Africa's royal families. We know too much about the Zulu royal family, and I think we created this series so that we can learn more about other royal families.
Nice.
So today we'll be focusing on the Vavenda Royal House. And then we wrap up the show at 11 o'clock with our Family Matters feature. Today we're discussing self-awareness, and whether it can become self-centeredness. That's the show.
Love it. The Clement Manyatela Show. That's between 9 and 12.
702 proudly presents the Dina Letty stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2026.
We're going to have some fun. You guys ready?
This is Jazz Reignited.
Jazz.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
The Checkers Hyper Price Drop is back. Save up to 40% on Escort Barbecue Loin Ribs 750 grams, 3 for 299 Rand. Cross and Blackwell Tangy Mayonnaise 750 grams, or Gold Tomato Sauce 700 mils, and Mrs. Ball's Chutney 470 grams, all 3 for 99 Rand. And HDH Mineral Soft Plus Granular Chlorine 25 kgs for 1,099.99. Valid until 6 September, only at Checkers Hyper.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. They asked me if I knew what their third-party policy entails. I said, third party? Whoa, big dog. I haven't even been invited to the first one yet. And they just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
9 minutes to 9 o'clock. Did you watch the program? The mask is finally off. Lasizwe Dambuza has been unmasked as Sushi, I must say, on season 3 of The Masked Singer South Africa. After weeks, and there was a long time, of keeping fans and detectives guessing, Lasizwe's performance of hits including Heya and also Nkalakata came to an end when Sushi landed in the danger zone and lost the final battle. You know what? I thought you were going to go forever.
I wanted to go forever. I was so sad when I got unmasked.
What? Okay, hold on a second now. Let's start right at the beginning.
Yes.
Must have been quite daunting going onto The Masked Singer.
It was scary, let me tell you. Like, just from the moment we were doing dress rehearsals, fitting on my outfit, my costume and my mask, I sat there and I was like, oh my God, like, are we really doing this? Like, okay, like, great. And then they were like, first performance. And I'm someone who gives it my all. Literally, I will sit there and I'm like, okay, showtime, baby. Let's do this thing, you know? So the first elimination happens. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm safe. Great. And now I keep learning choreographies, like on my own. I ask the producer to take a video for me because the dancers have to, like, you know, do stage rehearsals. They send the video to me, and overnight, I am like, for a good 6, 7, 8 hours, I'm just doing rehearsals on my own, and I'm trying to perfect my craft. Mind you, I've got 2 left feet.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for an absolute second. So, okay. So, as this was happening, did you get to the point where you thought they're going to out me? They're going to know me?
Yes, because I really tried to hide, you know, just how I walk. I've got a certain way how I walk, how I present myself, a little bit of sass there and there. And I just sat there and I was like, you know what, like, let me be an old Japanese sushi man, you know, and walk like I'm tired or exhausted and just show that, like, you know, that energy of, I don't want to be here, you know. And it worked for 9 weeks.
So what gave you up? What do you think gave you up?
At the end, I got too excited because I was performing Babe Sotumo, Umganwam, and it is my ultimate favorite song. If I had to reflect, when we were doing song selections, I remember Kayam Teto telling me that Babe Sotumo, it's going to kind of reveal who you are. I'm like, no, I want the song. And I'm like, no. And he's like, no, like, you know, and looking back, I should have trusted his judgment. Because that, you know, when we were doing song selections, we were going opposite of what I love. And that kind of sustained me in the game because I'm very open about the music I love and I play. Everyone that follows and supports and is a fan of my work knows the kind of artists I love.
That you like. But wasn't that difficult then? Because you have to go like photo negative.
Yes. Like, I was singing Kalagata.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know the lyrics. I only know the chorus. Heya. I was like, oh my word. Like, okay, great. I did Drake. If it was my choice, I would have went Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Tyler, all my girlies, you know?
Yeah. But this is, I would say, a fish out of water, but you built your career through your digital content.
Yes.
That's where we know you.
Yes.
So when you decided to do this, I mean, it must have been a massive step forward.
A massive step forward. And kudos to Anele and Frankie. I think they do such a great job in just handpicking who they think would be great for the season. And it's such an experience because in the digital world, you are you play so many roles in essence. You know, you are the executive producer, you're the director, you're the hair and makeup, you're the actor, you know, you are the commissioning editor at some point, you know. And then after all of that content is shot and done, you then need to think like a business, you know, the marketing strategy, and just how you place yourself and what time. And there's so many elements and so many hats you wear, and for a change, when you step into this industry, which is the television industry, you just realize that sometimes just, you know, be you just be you.
Well, you have to be. I mean, a lot of people also say coming onto radio, do you put your voice on every day? Do you act in a certain way? But you can't.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it like 5 times a week and the amount that you've been doing what you've been doing, you can't do that, can you?
You can't. This is where I believe in talent. This is where I know that there's something called talent and it's real. Every day speaking to, I would say, thousands and thousands of listeners.
Yeah.
You have a parasocial relationship with them. They know that you are here. Same goes with us on social media. We have a parasocial relationship with our fans, supporters, and followers, where they have a certain expectation or a certain relationship where it is transactional type of thing.
Of course. How do you deal with criticism, though? Because that's the one thing that comes along. And you, like I said,
yes,
you were doing something that you don't normally do. How do you deal with criticism, or do you just laugh it off?
So, literally, as I was at the 947 studio, as I was walking in, I think it's I forgot his name. I think it's
Tembakile.
Tembakile.
He reads the news.
Yes, he reads the news. It's like, oh, the walking hot topic, and
That's so
it's how I deal with it is again, it's a God-given thing. If it's ordained and if it's a talent of yours, you will be able to handle the critics,
Sure.
good and bad. I mean, the other day, they made a huge debacle about me selling my house. I was like, oh my God, guys, people buy and sell houses every single day. Like, what is it? Like, okay, just because I'm selling my house, like, oh my God, let's see who's selling his house. Oh my word.
Can't believe it's happening.
Can't believe it's happening. The calls I was getting, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. So it's like, those are just the things that, you deal with the criticisms and the people's opinions and how they think.
But you see, that's nice. I like that. All right, rapid fire. You ready? I'm going to ask you some questions.
Let's go.
And whatever comes to your mind first.
Sure.
TikTok or YouTube?
YouTube.
Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
Early morning or late night?
Early morning.
Crowd work or prepared material?
Prepared material.
Interviewing a celebrity or an ordinary person with an incredible story?
Celebrity.
Money or fame?
Ooh. Both.
Phone call or voice note?
Voice note.
Beach holiday or bush getaway?
Bush getaway.
Big party or chilled night at home?
Chilled night at home.
Yeah, good idea. Spicy food or sweet treats?
Sweet treats.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
City life or small town life?
City life.
Road trip or flight?
Flight.
No, road trip. Okay. Planned everything or wing it?
Half. Both.
Oh, okay. Being famous or being rich but anonymous?
Fame, darling. Fame. Give me it. All of it.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Okay. And one more. Okay, one more. Let me see. I'm going to find a really good one for you. Roast someone or be roasted?
Be roasted.
Love it, love it, love it. There we go. You passed the test.
Yeah.
Nicely one. Nice. Sure. Here we go. It's KG on the decks. He's responsible for many of our good things. Let's take a listen.
Oh, babes, umngani wami. Oh, Jack, umngani wami. Danon, umngani wami. Babazani bo. Babazani. Washa. I-West, umngani wami. Mapinch, umngani wami.
He is Sushi No More. He is Lasiswe Nambuza. Good to have you with us on 702 Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's really good to have you with us. And 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa and myself, Ray, was brought to you by BCX, connecting cloud, telecom, business connectivity, AI, and more to help organizations reduce complexity, also improve resilience, and unlock opportunities. I'll be back with you once again tomorrow morning. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The trial of alleged underworld figure Vusmuzikat Matlala and 4 co-accused is expected to resume in the Johannesburg High Court this morning after a 3-week break. Matlala, his wife Tsakani